Hi there. Welcome to oh my goodness. Welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. Ay, 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 technology. It's killing me. I want to start by wishing everybody a very, very wonderful new year. Let's all hope. And if you're watching, please say hello. Don't be shy, because I'm not being shy, so you have to, don't be shy. This week's discussion topics, as usual, are anything you feel is newsworthy about racism, bigotry, inequality, and as we always say, that's everything. So, hi Pat, hi Tim, thank you so much for being here. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Right before I got on today, I got kicked off of Facebook and Messenger. So that really, really sucked. And I'm kind of, Anton, hello, thank you so much for being here. I'm kind of freaked out because I think it might be permanent. I don't really know. They definitely don't want me on. And so I'm a little freaked. It's been pretty obvious, but we'll do the show. Calm, calm. It's kind of scary that they have so much control over, I guess you'd call it. Gary, hello, hello, hello. Thanks for being here. I'm completely off, and like people are writing me and calling me saying I'm completely wiped off of Facebook. So I feel terrible, but I'm gonna try to just figure it out after, and hopefully people will be able to come to the show and say hello. If you have any topics you're interested in doing today, jump right in. I'm just going to go through a quick spiel here, and oh my goodness, this show is meant to be an opportunity for people in historically marginalized groups and their educated allies to speak their mind, and to also serve as an educational tool for white folks who are trying to learn the truth about systemic racism in America. Yeah, Pat, Facebook needs to be stripped of their power. I will have to second that. They are really ruining what I'm trying to do, which is help educate white folks and have it be the voices of people who live it and people who are educated allies. And this is just crazy. They've pretty much shut me down completely, but I'll keep doing the best I can. So, and I'm thankful that you guys got back on here. But wow. So before we start, I wanted to introduce myself to anybody who watches it in reruns, to new viewers. I'm Angry Soccer Mom, and I host this weekly live show, and I run a number of online communities, including the Angry Soccer Mom YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe if you believe, like I do, that it's way past time for white America to learn our racial history. And to, if we don't learn our racial history, how can we have even an opinion or a thought about what's, Nails and Glitter, hello, about what's happening now? If we don't learn our own racial history, we're ahistorical in analyzing what's happening now because we don't know our past, so we're basically ignorant to how it is impacting our present. So that's why it is so important that people get educated. Gary, I'm going to jump right up and make this bigger. Oops, wrong one. Hang on one second. Make this bigger. Please, I apologize for the delay. Okay. Gary, it calls you Facebook user and nothing. Is there that you wrote? Nothing is there that you wrote me and aren't the first of my activist friends that's missing. Wow. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, they might have wiped me right off. It's kind of sad. I don't want to think about it right now. Anyway, thanks for being here, because I don't think that's how I've kind of maintained my YouTube channel, is through the groups that I run online. So we'll see. We'll talk about it later. Let's get the show going. Oh my goodness. I have a lot to talk about, and hopefully you guys can jump in. Timmy, well, the part white folks is what removed you from Facebook. This is not a coincidence. Yeah. Nathan, hello. Thank you for being here. I was just telling everyone that I might have gotten booted off Facebook permanently and Facebook Messenger. So my only way to communicate is going to be probably through, I guess, YouTube, or I'm not really sure. Anton, yes, the system of corruption will always try to stop the righteous. I'm not even trying to be righteous, but I'm just trying to tell real history and get people to care about our fellow humans. But I guess, Vaughn, hello. I'm going to repeat this over and over. I might be kicked off Facebook for good, including Messenger. So I'm kind of bummed. I just found out. Yeah, they just booted me off and everything's blank. And people were like, you blocked me. I'm like, I didn't block you. No, 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 no. So anyway, I'm going to go on with the show. Thank you so much for being here, Vaughn and Nathan and Anton and just everybody. Yeah, no, just like a minute ago. So they do not want me on there. They've made it crystal clear. Jeez, I'm so insulted. But so anyway, hello. It's really sad. Pat, when you go against the grain, this is what happens. Well, I'm kind of sad because this is kind of how I get, the people to listen and to watch and to learn. So I'm not sure what I'll do, but enough about that. Enough about that. So if you don't find me on Facebook at all, and you can't messenger me, and it says I blocked you, it's a lie. I didn't block anybody. So I'm kind of bummed about that. Happy New Year. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So today, so that was a kind of a little too much excitement for one person to get completely blocked off like 5 minutes before I started. They're in my agenda. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. All right, I'm scrolling back and I'm going to do this anyway. Have I got a rant for you? A desperate rant. All right, let me see. I have a special announcement to make. And I want to first thank everybody for being here. My announcement is I need your help. Not just from go tell Facebook they're mean. I need your help because I'm starting on January 7th. I'm doing I'm starting a new program, and I'm going to really need people's help because I want you all to be in it. And it's starting January 7th. I'm hosting a weekly panel discussion each Tuesday at 9 Eastern, just same as my Wednesday show, but on Tuesday. Except for my Tuesday show won't go very long. It'll just be like an hour, and I won't be in the middle of it. I will be in the little corner hosting it, and I'd like the voices of people who historically don't really get a lot of voice time to be having a conversation. And I think my problem is a lot of people are too shy to go on, or they're afraid. And that makes me just incredibly sad. I don't blame them one bit. But most of my friends are afraid of repercussions. I've told, at least 5 people said I would go on, but I don't want people in my white neighborhood to see it. And I don't know if that's, it's real to them. And thank you, Pat. Pat, you're going to be in all of them. It's very real to them. And I can't, who am I to judge? I probably wouldn't want to either. So I need help. The weekly topics are set ahead of time, and the guest does not need to be an expert. They just need to have either a strong academic experience in it and or personal experience in it. And we're going to have quite the array of topics. So I'm hoping to get 2 people on every Tuesday. And if you think you might want to do it, just I would say messenger me, but I can't. So get a hold of me somehow because I would love to have you. And I'm really, really going to count on everybody to, you all have friends that maybe don't know about these topics and hopefully can come on and speak to them. It's not supposed to be adversarial. I'm not putting like a pro and a con. Everyone needs to be on the same page. Like no one's going to come on and try to convince us that Trump's the new, like, the second coming of Jesus or nothing like that. It's going to be people who feel the same way, but since there's no monolith in a group, people who want to chat, and I will be in the corner. So I hope that just think of anybody you can grab. And oh, you know what? Nails and Glitter, you are so sweet. I have a website. I actually do have a website. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure where I'll put it exactly. You know what? I'm going to post it I'm going to post it on my YouTube channel. I have a website, and that is, you solve the problem. Thank you. I'm so technologically disabled, but don't tell. So if you know anyone who wants to come on tonight, please use your social media that I no longer have to bring them on. We have a lot to talk about. The stuff I prepared is for tonight is, so this is kind of how to say this, but the history of New Year's Day has not been a great thing for all Americans and all people who live in North America. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. And the second thing, I have a movie trailer. Tony, thank you for being here. We have a movie trailer that don't even ask me how. It was a series of strange events. I got lucky enough to be invited to this opening of this movie trailer that's supposed to be a nationwide movie, and it's on systemic racism in America. So I'd love to show that to you. It's very short. Another topic I've kind of gotten into today was racist rants. We're seeing them on Facebook all the time. They're going viral. We're seeing them all over the place. We're not just seeing them in America. They're all over. I'm going to show you one from Canada, and I'd like to discuss a little bit about how the racism here is impacting other nations. And it's kind of scary. I know it was really bittersweet New Year for a lot of people because this nation's really not doing well. How to put it. And then my favorite topic for tonight. The Facebook co-founder will speak and talk about how Facebook's out of control. Out of freaking control. I am pro breaking it up. And I don't really know much about that kind of thing. But I do know that if 40% of the people in the United States are on Facebook, and most of them are getting their news from Facebook with fake news, people don't check, I'm going to say that's Big Brother. He doesn't care. So I won't get into it now, but I have a lot to say. And interestingly, so does his co-founder. I have a video the guy's not shy. So I'm going to show you that. And then two more things. Black fathers have a bad rap in America, and I'm here to set the record straight. No father's perfect, but they don't deserve the bad rap they have. Not even close. And that's according to a number of studies. So, and the last one, I want to know what you think about holding the articles of impeachment. Obviously, I'm like, yes, keep them, hold them. I learned a long time ago, this is a terrible thing to say. I try to have good integrity with everything I do. But when you're working with crazy people, sometimes you have to play their game. And you know the rest. So, Timothy, what's going on to be really difficult? That's going on to be really difficult to get that message out. I think Angry Soccer Mom is going to have to change your name to Happy Soccer Mom so that we push our agenda and get you back on Facebook. Oh, thank you so much. That's very sweet and adorable. But I think there might be a little more to it than that. But if that were the case, I would change it right now. But they don't. We'll go over it. I did a little research on Mr. Zuckerberg, and he's not good. Michael, thank you for being here. Michael Harris, good to have you here. I'm just telling everybody ahead of time that I got kicked off Facebook and Messenger, and it might be for permanent about 10 minutes ago. So if you can't get a hold of me on Messenger and it says I blocked you, I did not block you. And the reason I knew about that is because my friend Pat was like, you blocked me. I was like, no, I didn't. And also, I tried to get a hold of a man who does a live show, and he's fantastic on Facebook. And all of a sudden, I wrote to him because I wanted to see if he wanted to come onto the panels. I'm like, he blocked me? I don't even talk to the guy. Why would he block me? And then I realized that's what his show was gone too. Completely wiped off. And then he got back on. So anyway, thanks for being here. We have tons of stuff to talk about. So while you're thinking of topics to discuss, because you don't have to just do my topics, I wanted to come on today and tell a brief story about myself in the hopes that it might encourage and motivate people who have something to say, but for whatever reason, they're too busy, they're too stressed, they're too overwhelmed, they're too afraid a lot of people are afraid to put their face on here and talk about, the truth about systemic racism. It's just history. It's history. But you see, I can say that. I'm a white person. I have a certain privilege that I don't know if I still have it, but I definitely have a certain privilege that makes me feel like I can do this. A lot of my friends who aren't white are incredibly good at speaking and explaining and teaching, but the problem is they're afraid because they live in an all-white area, and I'm like, don't worry, we're not that popular here. No one will ever see it, but I can't guarantee that. This is a really scary time. Afraid to put our face in public because somebody might try to do something to us. Somebody's trying to call me right now, which is kind of funny. I always get a few calls during the show. Maybe I'll make a call-in show. That would be really cool. And that's my hope and dream. Nails and glitter. It's tough to speak truth and survive in white America. Yeah. I mean, I feel that way, and I'm a freaking white person. I can't imagine. This is really bad. And I know you're not afraid, Pat, and I am so happy about that. But who am I to tell people, oh, don't be afraid? I don't know. I'd probably be terrified. This is not good. This is really not good. Like I need to tell you that, but just, oh, wow. So anyway, so for whatever reason, so here's the thing. So I wanted to come on today and briefly tell a little bit about myself, so that maybe there's a chance I might encourage or motivate people who have something to say, but for whatever reason, and there are legit reasons, are too busy, too stressed, too scared, too worried, too overwhelmed, just trying to make ends meet, or just plain shy. I'm talking about the people who see these human and civil rights violations and they want to say something, but they see the inhumanity, they see the devastation, but they feel too insecure for whatever reason. And you know what they'll end up doing throughout the entire campaign this year when Trump's trying to spew his lies? They'll do what they've always done, and that's abso-stinkin-lutely nothing. And doing nothing doesn't cut it. It just doesn't. If you're doing nothing, you're on the side of the oppressor. I'm sorry. It's the truth. Doing nothing and just saying, oh, I'm nice to everybody. The system needs to be dismantled. People need to learn. Doing nothing upholds the status quo, and we all know that. So that's the tough part. And I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not saying, but there are a lot of people who have a lot to say, who speak much better than I do, who write much better than I do, who are staying silent. And it's not time to stay silent. So these people are going to go about their lives while our nation is being destroyed. And how do I know this? I used to be one of them. I was really, really shy. I was way too shy to speak out. But you don't have to have a great speaking voice. You don't have to be a great orator, a writer, or even popular. You just have to care a ton and be willing to learn and be willing to make mistakes. And I'm willing to make mistakes. Systemic racism is so much bigger than any one of us. It's not about us. So I don't know if that helped, but that helped me. So I want to tell you really quickly about my evolution here, how I got to YouTube, and how this came to be and it's a quick story. I think some of you have heard it, and I'll try to go fast because I want to get to the subject matter. And I'm just really, really happy to have the great support. And I've met the most incredibly nice people on social media that I might be off of. Okay, enough about me. So about 23 years ago, I found out about this internet thing. My husband's a software engineer, and so I asked him about this thing called the internet. It sounded kind of cool. And he said, oh, I just moved out here to New York. I'm from California, Southern California. And he said, oh, it's nothing really. And I was like, but it seems kind of interesting. I want to try it. And he's like, no, I don't think you'd be too into it. I'm going to kill him. I was like, no. I kind of was bugging him. I really want to try it. And I could tell so he kept brushing me off, and I didn't really know why, but I kept at it, and then he finally blurted out, if you go on the internet, you'll never stop bothering me for the rest of my life. You're going to ask me questions all day and all night. And I was like, oh, I wouldn't do that. No. I would never do that. So this is how I've got online and learned about social media at my ripe old age. And I've been bothering my husband every single day, multiple times a day ever since. I'm just saying, he was absolutely right. But I'm not sorry. Okay, sorry. But sorry, not sorry. Anyway, that's my story. So this is how I got online, and it wasn't until many, many years later that I finally went on Facebook. I thought it was for little kids, and I didn't know. So it took me 3 years to build up the courage to actually comment on a post. I'll wait for the laugh. I was afraid to comment on a post because I thought somebody wouldn't like what I said. And I finally got up the courage to like something. And I was like, okay, I did it. And then I'm actually dead serious. I'm making light of it because I know it sounds ridiculous. But I got the courage to actually go on and make a comment. And somebody wrote back a nasty reply. And right away, I learned to delete it. I was like, oh my God, somebody, I mean, this is how bad off I was. Okay, so that's why I say, so why am I telling you these goofy little stories about my internet and my life? You know, I'll tell you why. It's because a lot of people feel like, and I'm going to get to comments, a lot of people feel like you're a born big mouth. You're born to speak and not be shy. And you know, you're just born that way or you're not. And I call bullshit on that. I ate in the library alone all 4 years of high school. I didn't have a single friend. I was really, really shy. So me being here means a lot more than just, it might to just anybody. I have forced myself to, and now I'm the blabbermouth I've always wanted to be. No. But you know what helped me a lot is that I kept saying, it's not about me. And I've always prided myself in not doing nothing and just watching while other people are abused in any way. And that's what this is. It's bullying. Our society is bullying. Now we have a president that is the leader of the bullies, but we are big bullies that can't face the truth that race is a human construct. Get over it. So, okay. So it is not true. For me, this has been an evolution from a shy kid to okay, I'm going to make some confessions. I literally was too shy to post for pictures. Not like naked pictures, nothing like that. I mean pictures like my face. I would just stay off the camera. I didn't want my picture taken. I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't have to be great to use your voice. You don't have to be. You just have to care about your fellow humans with all your heart. I make mistakes all the time. And yeah, I'm really embarrassed. But I just try to keep going. And I know there's so many people out there that could do the same. So I promise, if I can speak out, anyone can. You just need to get confident and know your stuff and get confident and practice. So we need all the people who are doing nothing to stop this regime of hate to find their courage and speak out. I'm ending my rant today by asking people, especially those with power or privilege, please speak out loudly and clearly, because I think we're through. It might be too late. Our democratic republic is, you know, we are following suit with nations that they go down. Freedom isn't free. It's not. And right now, the wealthiest white elite folks are running our nation, and they are loving it, and we're letting them. And it's not we the people, it's the other people. It's the 1 or 2%. And they're not all evil. No, I'm not saying that, but they are running our nation. I don't have to tell you guys that. So it's time to get white folks educated. And this nation may not be perfect. I know it's not perfect, but we have the potential to build a more perfect nation. And I say, I didn't think this would happen in my lifetime. It's time to try. It's going to take everyone who cares, even if you're shy, or it's just not going to happen. This nation, I believe in us. And I believe in white people that we have to do better. And that's through education. And yeah, it's painful. You have to do self-analysis and whatnot. But I think our country's worth having, you know, I mean, I think it's worth it. I'm going to get to comments in just a minute. I mean, it's worth it. This could be the greatest country in the world. We just have to act great. And right now, we're not acting great. I'm not talking about our past. I'm talking about now. we're not acting great. I don't need to tell you. We're doing, I mean, it's a long story, but anyway, it's not going to happen with hate. It's not going to happen with fear. It's going to happen, saving our nation is going to happen with courage. Because, and I'm just saying, like I said, if I can find my voice, anyone can. Now, let me get to some comments where I'm just blabbing on. I apologize. So again, if you just join me, I am kicked off of Facebook and Messenger. So I did not unfriend anybody. I did not block anybody. It says that I blocked everybody. People who I know are on texting me are like, you blocked me. I'm like, dude, I didn't block you. I didn't block you. So let's get to some comments here. I know Pat speaks his mind. Anton says, the lie must murder the truth. Yeah, this is scary stuff. Cameron, I speak my mind and it's caused me a lot of trouble. I bet. And I'm basically begging people to come on to my new panels, and I can't get people to do it. And the number one reason isn't because they don't want to. They're too scared. They don't want their face on for repercussions. And that to me might be the most terrifying thing I've ever heard. I don't know what else to say. That's just terrifying. Michael Harris. My experience, I came to notice that people who choose not to speak up are quick to address those who do speak up. They try to silence us. Yeah, I get it. The position the position I'm in is kind of interesting. As a white person doing this, I have to stay in my lane. I don't tell black people, brown people, indigenous people, people of mixed heritage what to do, how to do it. I don't know better than them how to fix and stop racism. That's just arrogant. But what I can do is talk to white folks who might want to learn. And I can be patient with them. I can be strict with them. I can be somewhere in between. I will meet them at the level they're at. And worst case, they're too far gone. They're not ready. I meet a lot of people like that, and it's really sad, but you can't waste your time with that kind of thing because there's too many people who want to learn but are just kind of like, Don't ever underestimate the ignorance of white America. I have talked to so many people, and mind equals blown. And you know what? It's not all their fault. Our schools, their upbringing, our religion, sorry, religious people, we are indoctrinated at birth. We truly are. So let us see. He was elected because he was a bully. Nails and glitter. Absolutely. Oh, I'm just guessing. You know, I made some videos a long, long time ago that I just recently put on maybe a year ago because I just started my YouTube channel a year ago. But I had made a couple videos, and I'll tell you, my first video was he had him at racist. The minute people found out this guy's one of ours, he's a full-blown racist, it really didn't matter what else he did. And I know that sounds so simplistic, but the masses in America are kind of simplistic. You know, they really are. Not everybody, but they don't want to learn and think because it kind of hurts. So anyway, yeah. Anton, Kim, I was like that too. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, it's all new to me. I'm just finding out about social media the last couple of years. That's really interesting because Anton does really great artistic videos. And I have some of them actually. Maybe I'll see if I can post some on my YouTube now that I'm off of Facebook. But yeah, I'm older and I thought it was for kids. Plus I was too shy anyway. Michael Harris, he was elected despite the election of Obama. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's, you know, I won't get into it because I could go blabbing on and on, but this nation has never faced the truth about our racial history. Hell, we don't even tell the truth about our racial history in schools. I have had 3 kids going through school, and we have a pretty good district in that regard, and they didn't learn any of this. One of them did his own research and looked into it, but no, it's either taught at home or it is meant to carry on the cycle of racism in America. And that's systemic racism. I don't care if you call someone the N-word. You're not going to make systemic racism. Of course, it always helps to contribute, but we're talking about a system that was set up long ago. And there's so much history. I'm actually, now I have enough material for 4 new videos on hidden history. It's unbelievable. Okay, thanks, Anton, for telling me. And yeah, of course, Michael, he was a backlash. Cameron, they are pretty close to all evil, Kim. Yeah, I hate to think that, because I say a lot of times, all whites, all this. But it's like when you're in a classroom and your teacher says, all right, the class is being too noisy. You're all going to stay in. If you're not noisy, you don't go, oh my God. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. You think, ah, crap, people are misbehaving. But you don't get defensive and say, I mean, do you? I was too shy to say anything, but it's a bummer but when I say all whites, it's because it's a system. And right now, the system has all the power, and it's going to take a hell of a lot of people caring. I don't think black people need to be saved. I don't think white people are heroes for doing this. It's the least we can do is give a shit. I just consider it like a minimal. There's no thanks to it. And do you want your kids being raised in a place where people are racist as fuck and screaming and yelling and thinking they're superior for no reason? Everyone's superior with something. I mean, even the most disabled people, maybe they're like the nicest person you've ever met. Or it's just ridiculous, the whole superior thing. I don't want my kids in that environment. And I don't want to see my friends or anyone be in it. So, yeah, but Cameron, I understand. They feel all evil. Michael, an important book is How Democracies Fail. Yeah, I guess, thank you so much for that. I think we're writing the book right now. We're living it. I always say to people, don't ever question how Nazi Germany happened. Because now we know. We're living it. Never did I ever think that we'd be doing this, but yet here we are. Dennard Bullard. Don't let the madness overwhelm you, lady, and keep up the good work. For while we celebrate the holiday, just know the people that work diligently to make this world a horrible place never take days off. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's true. Oh, you don't see, Cameron doesn't see Anton's comment. That's really weird. Boop, boop, boop. Maybe you do now. His is blocked a lot of the time. Sorry, Anton, giving you, maybe I unblocked it. Jason, hola, ¿cómo estás? Let me see here. Robert, hello, thanks for being here. There comes a time when silence is betrayal. That is a fantastic point. And for me, yeah, Anton, I'm like, Anton always gets in trouble, but I unblocked him. Yep. Silence condones, and as a mom to children, I want them to get straight A's. I want them to be smart. I want them to educate themselves. But more than that, I want them to give a shit about their fellow human, their country that we are so blessed to live in. And yeah, we've had horrific past. Yeah, but we could be better than this. If people get educated, we can make this country better and make it a more perfect nation with the Constitution we have. But anyway, I'm just saying, Michael Harris, I say white supremacy is based on the white race being superior, not some of the white race. So anyone gets offended should show they are not of the trend. Yeah, well, I think for a beginner white person, they don't get this. It's like they're not there yet. But I still say white people, and then I try to explain because I'm trying to educate. There are some people who will leave my show and who will not watch my videos because I've dared to insult them. But here's the bottom line. It's not about us. It's like I want to wear a t-shirt. It's not about us. We're our cute, tender feelings. No, 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 no. It's about a system we were all born into. We didn't create the system. We didn't do any of this stuff. But we're born into a system that is a lie. We live a lie. So why not fix it? Help. Be a part of the solution. And when I say white people, it's a system. And right now, it's white folks. And I know plenty of white folks who are trying to work against it and dismantle it, but not enough. Not even close. Not even remotely enough. So thank you for that comment, Michael Harris. I absolutely, it's not about us. I don't know what else to say. But this is what I do know what else to say. I lied. If you are walking, and this is a terrible analogy, but it's all I can think of. If you're walking by somebody in a pool, tra-la-la-la-la, you're walking by, and they look like they're struggling really badly. Do you keep walking because you didn't shove them in? Or do you keep walking by because you didn't build the freaking pool? Well, I hope not. Then why in the world are white folks born into this society and we just kind of go with it and we're like, hey, who cares? Who cares? We were born here. This is the way it is. No, this is not the way it has to be. This is probably the way some of us want it to be. It doesn't have to be this way. I don't think it's inevitable. No, maybe I'm wrong. I just don't think it is. Okay. Let me see. Michael Harris. At the end of the day, it's about the morality of the person. Either you're humane or not. Well, that's kind of where I'm going too, because at this point in our time, and yes, this is my opinion, unless you are hiding under a rock or are severely cognitively disabled, which, is not your fault, and you act like you don't know what's going on with racism in this country, you're full of shit. You're full of it. And, oh, wow. Okay. I wanted to, oh goodness, I got a hater on board. I'm so sorry. Stevie, thank you for being here. And I know, here's the thing. I know that a lot of black folks won't like me. And I don't blame them. I'm this white person who's got this privilege. Well, that's why I do this. It's because I have privilege. And that's why I read every comment everyone says. And I'm starting a panel show that is spotlighting the voices of people who need to be heard. But I'd hate me. I would hate my guts. I'm just saying. Cameron, it's about maturity. Definitely. It's about maturity. Thanks for being here, Stevie. People look at me and I look like a obnoxious, elite, white lady soccer mom. That's why I named my show that. It's really stupid. I named my show that because it's so not who I am and not who I've ever been, but it's kind of an attention grabber. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll change it, but anyway. If you first find out who I am, when I work with white folks, they are offended. They hate my guts. And I get it. I totally get it. And when I work with people who aren't white, they don't trust me worth beans. And I absolutely get it. So it's kind of the way it goes. But I'm here to educate white folks and to help support the voices of people who have been historically marginalized, and it sucks and it's not fair and it's wrong. And to help educate people about a real racial history, because how in the world can we make comments even on what's happening now if we don't know how we got here? Ghost Killer, hello. Moppy, thank you for being here. I mean, how can we talk about all these things that have impacted over time for us to get where we are now if we don't even know what they are? So it's ridiculous. So we got to learn, and that's how it goes. So my first topic is something that a lot of people probably won't know about. Pat brought it to my attention, and it's about the slaves dreaded New Year's Day. It's one of the worst days of their lives, historically, in America. And let me tell you why. Americans are likely to think that New Year's Eve and New Year's Day is a time to celebrate, like yahoo! But apparently a lot of black folks don't. And a lot of white folks who are very educated don't, or they celebrate it for other reasons. Because there are some good things that happened on New Year's. There are a few really good historical things. But unfortunately, what I'm going to talk about today is not one of them. Yep, Michael Harris, thank you. Separation of their families day. That's what it is. And this is really, really, to me, one of the most heartbreaking things I can possibly come up with in my life. Thinking about someone taking away my babies or my family. And this is a day, I'll just, get into the literature. People think of New Year's Day as a day to start out fresh in a new year, and it represents, yay, let's start all over. But it also has a very troubling side. Historically, in the years before the Civil War, the first day of the new year was often the most heartbreaking and terror-laden day of a person's life because it was hiring day. It was a day where, according to Alex McCrossan, who's an expert in the history of New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, kind of a cool, interesting history to learn about. Hiring day was part of a larger economic cycle in our nation, which most debts were collected and settled on that day. It's just a historical thing we did. Accounts of cruelty of hiring day come from all over the place. Recordings of people who were taken away from their families. That was the day you had to just be terrified of that you might be taken away. It didn't matter how old you were. It didn't matter if you loved your wife. It didn't matter how many kids you had. You had no say. Accounts of the cruelty of hiring day come from records left by those who secured their freedom, who describe spending the day before January 1st hoping and praying that their hirer would be humane and that their family would stay together. And that's just disgusting. Okay? And no, I am not saying we shouldn't celebrate New Year's. Yes, I'm saying we need to know our racial history. We need to know. And we need to know the details, because details matter. I mean, like I did the last show. Or 2 shows ago, I did some scenarios. I spoke of some scenarios that sounded kind of okay, because I didn't add any details. And everyone's kind of going, that's not so bad. When I added details, yeah, it was horrific. So details matter. Of all the days of the year, the slaves dreaded New Year's Day the worst of any. A slave named Lewis Clark said in 1842. And it was his account that was taken down and put in a book. Have you guys ever heard of this? Have you ever heard of this story? We have whitewashed history and non-existent history. And when people go onto my YouTube and call me a race traitor and call me lots of, lovely, they tell me I'm fat, they tell me I'm a lesbian, I'm like, whatever, dude. It's all because they can't face history? It's kind of like embarrassing. It's history. They didn't do it. It's history. But clearly people who are like that are contributing to, hatred, I guess. But that's all I do, just a history teacher. Of course, I add in a little commentary here and there. I can't help myself. Let's take some comments. Michael, separation of their families. Yeah, I honestly cannot imagine. Pat, they were afraid of them losing their families. The overseer would also rent them out on that day, so this was painful for them. Absolutely. I read some anecdotal stuff in the article you sent me, Pat, and it was nothing less than absolutely heartbreaking. So I don't know if you've heard of this before or if this is news, but I'll say it again, and you guys can slap me. Block me on Facebook. Oh no, I'm already blocked. I'm blocked from everybody. I'm just kidding. But this is history. Not to feel guilty about it, to know. So you can know enough to understand this kind of thing. You got to understand when emancipation happened. And woohoo, everyone's dancing in the streets. That's not really how it went down. Okay? Yeah, there are tons of people who were probably dancing in the streets, but you see, the problem is it's much more complicated than that. We had another gazillion years of horrific circumventing the spirit of emancipation. And to this day, we still have it. It's not to blame, it's to learn our history. That's all it is. So I will shut up now, if you can believe it. I wanted to go on. If anybody has a topic they want to do, jump in. I have a ton. I got very lucky. I wanted to start with some news tonight that I got to do a really cool thing, and I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do it, I think, by total chance. I met a writer and a producer of a movie on systemic racism just by complete luck and chance. And he is going to spotlight reparations, and I want to show you the video. Right now it's 2 minutes, and I got invited to the premiere in February. So this Friday I am going down to New York City to meet him and some of the people who are in the movie. And I feel like, wow, I'm so lucky. You know, I feel really, really lucky. And I'll tell you all about it and tell you more about the movie. But I was really hoping this movie will be a success, because anything that can go nationwide to get people to understand our real racial history is positive, because it speaks to why all these social issues are happening today. And it helps white folks to meander through the bullshit propaganda. And I'm telling you, it's strong. When you're white, you are really believe you are, it's kind of like you're indoctrinated. And you don't even know it because you're just the norm and everyone else is the other. That's how most of us are raised. And, or if not worse than that. So let me take some comments and then I will go on. Tony, it's like what Michael Moore said in that video you posted, that other white people look at him as a race traitor. Exactly, Tony. Thanks. Great point. Yeah, I've been called, I don't put through my comments that are really, really nasty. I've been called race traitor. That's just a normal one. I get called really insane stuff. Like I get threatened. It's these people are just, they've lost their minds. I don't understand. I don't get it, but I mean, yeah, great point, Tony. Thank you for jumping in. Garrick, hello. Oh, whoops. Michael, I missed you. Hi, Garrick. Thank you for being here. Michael, on Christmas, slave owners would offer gifts and alcohol to slaves, manipulating them to believe slavery wasn't so bad. Oh, yeah. I mean, they're just stories upon stories upon stories. Slavery was bad. You're enslaved. You don't have freedom. Need I say more? I mean, yeah, people can believe what they want and they can make excuse after excuse after excuse to, appease their cute, tender sensibilities. But most white folks in America, they don't know even remotely the barbaric, sick, disgusting. It was a system. It was a system of barbaric crimes against humanity. And unless you can open your eyes and face the truth, I guess that's what people do. They try to just go, oh, wasn't that, well, yeah, it wasn't that bad for them. I mean, because they're white. So, I mean, I don't know. My first video was a video on top 20 excuses to basically deny systemic racism. And you never get, there's about 30 of them and no one ever comes up with a new one. They're all the same. So, I mean, if you want to learn one thing, if you're a white person, learn those 30 and how to debunk them. And you are 99.9% above knowledge-wise anyone else. Just learn 30 little denials of racism. They're classic cliche. That's what I call them. But yeah, that's so many. History is truly written by the winner or the ones in power. And it's just unbelievable how we've just left it all out. Garrick, this is why history is really called his story. As America wants to whitewash the history of black history as it goes from slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, prison industry, law and order, etc., etc. Yeah, we have to be aware. Equity, just equity. No, not everybody should be given I'm not talking about like some sort of crazy system. I'm talking about what our nation's Constitution says. Liberty and justice for all. Not everybody gets $1 million and gets to be a millionaire. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about basic stuff. And a lot of people who don't have good arguments will say, oh, you just want to give away this. It's ridiculous. I don't want to give away anything, and I'm not powerful enough to do it anyway. I just want to follow our Constitution. And right now, we're going downhill. It's not even close. Thank you, Garrett. Great point. Nails and glitter. Slavery is alive and allowed and functioning perfectly if the 13th Amendment and the school-to-prison pipeline are designed. Yep, absolutely. If you're not sure what she's talking about, the 13th Amendment did not outlaw all slavery. If you are imprisoned for a crime, you are allowed to be made to be a slave, in slave status. It is absolutely true. There was a lovely little a special circumstance that made it so you could be a slave, and it read the amendment. And it's right now, I mean, that's exactly what's happening. Mr. FS Black, thank you for being here. Truth is a hard pill to swallow, and the people will go as far as committing violence to avoid it. Absolutely. I mean, imagine if you're somebody who was, raised with the cycle of racism. And I'm talking in a familiar way. Your family has carried on the cycle of, obviously, probably more covert than overt, over time. A lot of white folks feel that, well, I don't use the N-word, and I don't burn crosses on my... That's the old-fashioned stuff, of course. I don't think anyone really could do... I mean, people try to do that, but that's not what being racist is about nowadays. It's much more covert, and it's in a system that is upholding of this white supremacy. And it's not enough to be nice to everybody. If you're white, it's nice to be nice to everybody. It's not enough. This is a system that is the beginning of our nation, and the beginning of probably a lot of nations, but we're in this nation. So it's a system that needs to be dismantled, and we have a constitution that can dismantle it. But not if the people aren't educated. And right now, the Trump supporters who believe that, and I don't even get this, they truly believe that this nation is going to succeed with hatred against our fellow humans. That's insane. Nothing is going to get better from hatred. It's just unbelievable. And people tell me, you hate people, you hate the white people. No, I don't. I am a white people. I don't hate white people. But I know we have to do better. Not to be saviors, not to be, look at me, I'm on Facebook, and look at me, I'm doing something, I'm in a march. Because it's the right thing to do. Because these are our fellow humans. And sure, we're born into this. But once you see what's happening, you don't just do nothing. You don't just stand and watch. So anyway, I'm getting on a rampage here. I'll try to get everyone's comments. I should shut up. Gus Kella, don't listen to those people who call you a race traitor. It's not called white guilt. It's called being righteous. It is called black guilt when I defend white people. Nope, that's just, righteous. Okay, and here's my thing. I don't give a shit what amount of melanization you have in your skin. If you're doing something bad and horrible, I will try to help you to go the right way, okay? And there are some places and areas of subject matter that are not my place with regards to non-white people. It's not my place to say how someone should feel about racism and systemic racism. It's not my place to say how we should solve it. It's not my place to say lighten up. It's not my place to say it's just a joke, bro. No. I don't live it. I will never live it. It's my place to support. And it's my place to listen and learn. And try to support voices that need to be heard. So it's a lot. It seems like, it's so simple, but it's complicated. Because there are people in our nation who are not going to go down without a fight. So, yeah, and Ghost Killa, I'm old. I don't, when they say that, I just think they're really sad people. Like, I actually feel sorry for them. And I know you don't have to, but I do. Because there's nobody that can tell me living as a racist is like a joyous life. I'm sorry. You're a hater. You're a hateful person. And I feel sorry for them. Doesn't mean I'm going to support them, but I feel pity. All right? And no, you don't have to agree with me, but I feel like their parents were abusive. To raise a child like that, nobody's born like that. Nobody. That's Anyway, I don't want to get too let me see. More comments. And thank you, Gus Kelly. Thanks, Moppy. I would never listen to people like that. Pat, see, they use code talk now, and if you don't know the code talking, then you don't know what or who they are talking about. Like when they say we the people, it's not talking about black people at all. Oh God, there's so much covert code talk, and it's out of control. It's out of control, and a lot of times, until you study it as a white person, you kind of like, well, maybe that's not what they meant, and maybe that's it. But like, and it looks like fragility, like you're saying you're sticking up for them, but it's just ignorance. That's all it is. Once people learn, after a while, it's a really steep learning curve, as you guys know. It's a really steep learning curve to anti-racism. It's a lifelong journey. I will never get there. All right, yay, I'm the woke person. No. First of all, that's not for me to say, okay? That's not for me to say. I will learn till the day I die, because I will never know what it is like. I just won't. I'm a white person. I will never know what it's like. And that's the way it goes. So let me see. Yeah, Pat, thank you. Michael, the 13th Amendment was a backdoor to slavery. Absolutely. Great point. Absolutely. Yeah, and you know what? Most people don't have a clue about that. There are people in high places who really want to uphold this white supremacy, and they spew out lies like the Reagan administration. Oh my God, the lies and the propaganda, about people taking advantage of our system, and the welfare mom. I mean, it's just, the whole thing is all a bunch of lies. And that's what's kind of driving me nuts about Facebook, is that's Big Brother telling us what to think and how to think it. And who gets to talk and who gets to have it's pretty bad. So, let me see. I'm just so thankful to have so many people here, and I cannot thank you enough. Mr. F. is Black. As you said, history is written by the winner. I'll do you one better and say it was written by those who killed and pillaged the most. Yeah. Our society doesn't necessarily reward values, and I know you guys know this, me telling this. It doesn't reward values that are necessarily good. Like Machiavellian principles of money over everything. That's disgusting. Humans second or third or fourth, and money first. No. People who are sensitive and feel for others, that's not rewarded. They call you a wuss. They call you a, what's that word? Snowflake. They call you and you know what? It's ridiculous, because actually I was raised that way. Being sensitive was, I'll never get anywhere in life. Being sensitive was, what a loser. I'll never be able to be what I want to be. I was told that, how horrible it was. And you know what? I never bought into it. Never. And today, not to say, oh, I'm so great, but everybody has their strengths. And that is one of mine, is that I do feel what other people feel a lot of times. I can be empathetic, and it hurts me, but it's a strength. And I was raised that, how are you going to make a living, and how are you going to do this? It's like really, really capitalism gone mad on steroids. We got to bring humanity somehow into the picture. Listen to me blabbing on. Let me see here. Nails and glitter, but the nooses are making a comeback. Yeah, no, it's getting bad. We're going backwards. Kitchen politics. I hope you're still here. Just got out from doing a double. Sorry I'm late. I missed a great show, didn't I? Bloody hell. No, you not at all. I'm just beginning to blab. Andrew, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here. You're an abolitionist. You know what? I actually think that's a really nice compliment. I'm a person who I saw this at a young age. I didn't know what it was. My parents they weren't overtly racist, but they didn't teach me anything either. And I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know why people were ignoring it. And I was really hurt by it. And as I got older and older, I figured I was a slow learner. I figured it out by the time I was like 20-something. I was a slow learner, what can I say? But by age 12, I was writing for my school newspaper about, equality and equity. And by 18, I finally got introduced to Jane Elliott, which was a lifesaver because I thought I was crazy. And I might have been, but not because of that. I just didn't understand why people are doing this. And nobody talked about it. And then what helped me is going to college, because I got to graduate in, they call it kind of like multiculturalism is kind of a, nowadays I'm not sure what they would call it, probably African American studies or multicultural studies, but my whole world opened up. And it was really good for me because I was raised in the era of colorblind, that we don't talk about it, we don't see it, so anyway, thank you, Andrew. Dave, hello. I got a weird message that said your account was temporarily blocked. I was wondering what happened. I didn't see you as my Facebook friends list. Yeah, Dave, no, thank you, Dave, you're so sweet. As I said at the beginning a couple times, I should probably say it again, about 5 minutes before I started on tonight, I got blocked off of Facebook completely. And I'm very, very upset about it. I think it might be permanent. I'm off of Messenger, and I'm off of all my Facebook. I just saw it just blanked out, and it said that I blocked people. I didn't block anybody. They blocked me. So I'm hoping I can figure out why. But as I had said in other shows and in videos, it's getting worse and worse. I have a video that explains the whole thing. And we're going to talk about it tonight a little bit, if you guys can hang out. I am not happy with, like it's about me. This is not good for our world. What's happening? Facebook has too much power. Supposedly 40% of adults get their news from Facebook. The fake news. People don't even check they don't even fact check. It's insane, and he is not helping. But we'll get into that. I'm okay, Dave. Thank you so much. I'm devastated by that, but there's not a lot I can do. Ghost Killer. Richard Spencer actually said life would be the same without Africans. Oh, there would be no life without us Africans folks. Who said that? Richard Spencer? That's a very weird thing to say. Who would think of something like that? That's ridiculous. Just ask the Greeks and Romans. Yeah, it's people like that. I don't have time to give them attention personally. They're too far gone. They need help. That's crazy. But yeah. Neil, your message got taken away, but now it's back. Yeah, Dave, I know you did. That's okay. No problem at all. Let me see. Oh, goodness. I gotta scroll back. Neil, thank you so much for being here. I miss you. Who is a winner when there's racism, murder, hate, crimes, or even, as Mr. F.S. Black said, as you said, history is written by the winners, and nobody wins with racism. And white America, who believes that racism is in their best interest, that is the most ahistorical, ludicrous thing on the planet. The only people where racism, overt racism and hate is in their best interest are probably like the 1 or 2% wealthiest people who, according to Michelle Alexander, seem to pin us against each other so that we'll never realize who the real people are, who are destroying our lives, making it so we can't make ends meet, making it so all of us have to work very, very hard. This nation is so different than so many other Western nations. I've been reading study after study. We have the least amount of days off. We have the least happiness in life, but We're brainwashed. America, and you know what? America could be amazing. But Kim Jong-un does not have a thing on propaganda. We have propaganda here. And it's destroying us. Why do you think that attorneys love ignorant people to be on their juries? Because you can sway them and you can tell them anything. And they'll believe it. And they won't think. Because thinking's painful. But not thinking, the ultimate price is, I think we're losing our democratic republic. I think it might be over. Not to be the soothsayer of doom, but I think it might be done. And I'm not the smartest person in the room. But I keep it real. That's really, it's not good. Neil, I'll also do you one better and say it's written by those who, okay, we go up too far? Okay. Now I'm looking for messages. Okay, back down I go. The second, okay, got it. The second comment you wrote was the rest of, okay, thanks, Neil. Sorry. It's what happens is when it gets caught up, it scrolls. It's a long story. Garrick, the Reagan administration threw crack cocaine into the black-brown communities and wrote laws to imprison people of color longer versus whites with cocaine. Remember, this is put minorities under scrutiny. Absolutely. There's, sometimes, I'm sorry, it really is a conspiracy. He's like, oh, it's not a conspiracy. No, this actually, really, it is. I'm sorry to say that, but that's how I feel. It is, we collectively, as a system of white people, we will not let them win. And it's psychosis. It's just disgusting at every turn. Redlining, sundown towns, black codes, lynchings, the deal of 1866. At every turn, it's unbelievable. Thank you, Garrick. Michael, focus on the youth. They tend to be more receptive of the truth than the older folks. After all, they're our future. Absolutely. And I don't know about your guys' areas. Maybe I'm in a really liberal area, but my kids, the reports I get are really positive. Like, nobody does that. Like, it's almost like they're living in another generation. A generation that actually gives a shit. And I know it's not like that everywhere, but I know where I'm at, people who actually care rule the day in the end. And that makes me very happy. We just have to, if you're white, you have to stop the cycle of racism in your family. It must be stopped. Which is, we have to educate ourselves so we can teach our children. It's a disservice to raise a racist child. They're going to get enough racism as it is just from society. They do not need you as a mom or dad chiming in and helping. You need to be the equalizer, the person who brings everything together and speaks the truth. So I can't emphasize that enough. It's not so that we're heroes. It's a gift to our own children. Because there's no way being racist, it can't be a good thing. It just can't be. Don't tell me someone who's racist is content with life. And it's just it's so inhumane. But yeah, great point. Yep. Nails and glitter, when you break with the white solidarity, you are considered a race traitor because whiteness is supposed to be the most important character. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I've never felt like a part of, because I wasn't taught, I've never felt a part of an allegiance to whites. Never. I haven't felt an allegiance to black. The only people I have an allegiance to are people who have hearts of gold. And that comes in every shade. But I do have a ton of implicit bias because I was raised in our society. So sorry to say, but every white person has minimally implicit bias. And that's just part of evolution. We need to organize our world. And like I said, if you go into, I have a video called Why I Believe All Whites Are Racist. And people are just devastated that I could say such a thing. Well, they need to watch the video and take a chill pill because you know what? It's based on something that's very real. It's not an opinion. It's based on, I truly believe that implicit bias is one of the lowest levels of racism. If it turns into discrimination, it's racism, okay? And racism, you can scream it, racism, okay? So you said it. It doesn't have to be so ugly. White privilege, I'll yell, white privilege. It's not meant to be a dirty word. White privilege is from academia. The society and Facebook and all the social medias have made it, have twisted it into something it's not. It doesn't mean your life is great. It doesn't mean you're happy. It doesn't mean you don't work hard. It doesn't mean people are giving you things. It's the unearned privilege because you were born into a society that values white a little bit more. It doesn't mean you haven't worked your ass off. It doesn't mean you're not poor and had, starving and didn't have food in your kid. It doesn't mean anything. The less wealthy you are as a white person, the less white privilege you'll have. But you still have it, but not with everything. So people they don't get it. But anyway, yeah, I don't. When people call me a race traitor, I get what they're trying to say, but see, then I think, well, we're all the same race, you moron. So I don't say that, but I think in my head, I think the person's so uneducated they don't understand that we're all the same race. That's ridiculous. So being a race traitor, who am I? Anyway, I'm blabbing. I better get going. I have a lot to talk about with you. I missed the first part of the show. Yes, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Michael Harris. It said for verification purposes. Are you verified? Are you talking about Facebook? Maybe if that's what you're talking about. I've been verified. They're just screwing with me now. I've been verified. I had to give, because my groups are higher than a certain number on my communities, I had to give my driver's license and all this stuff. And yeah, I have been verified. They're evil. I don't know. But yeah, thanks. I think that's what you're talking about. Otherwise, I'm not sure. Okay, let me just get, oh my goodness. I am way behind in messages. I'm so sorry. There we go. Okay. Wow. Sorry, I've skipped. Okay. I think, Michael Harris, that's what you're talking about, maybe? And yeah, I am. And I put another picture in today, but it was 5 minutes before the show, so I was like, whatever. Pat, from 1866 to 1896, the illiteracy rate for blacks skyrocketed faster than any other race, but they were not recognized for their hard work. See, the white supremacy never wanted blacks to learn to read or write at all. Absolutely. It was against the law. In the black codes, a lot of, if you ever read the black codes from the South, you will barf. I mean, I'm just saying, you'll throw up, because they are you can't even believe it. Their stuff is it's sick. There was a time when there were many people in politics and who were black and in offices and elected office and here and there, and it all got washed away with the compromise, and it was the biggest mistake. It's unbelievable. But let me see. Dave, can you do a new account and maybe you can sign up the account under a different email and yeah, no, you can't. Thank you for that, but no, you can't do that. They want your ID, they want your picture, they want to match it, and in a lot of ways that's really good. But thanks though. I've tried everything. Yeah, it was after Obama's Iran deal. The GOP tried to sabotage it. Either Senator Dune's page or Senator Cruz's page. I created a new account with a different email. It worked. Yeah, it won't work anymore. We've been able to, and also remember, they're targeting me because of the number. If you have if you run a group and it's not over a certain amount, and I don't know what that amount is, they won't target you. But once you hit that amount, it's over. And the only reason I know that is because I have friends who are having the same type thing. This isn't a friend, but Tom, he is a fairly famous liberal. He's on Sirius XM radio, and he got wiped off of Facebook completely. He didn't use it that much, but he's on the radio. But so this is a thing happening. Lamont, thank you for being here. Nice to have you. Unregulated capitalism combined with white supremacy fosters racism among all ethnicities, where Americans must chase a fake currency. Blacks are the easy scapegoats. Abso-stinkin-lutely. That is an amazingly great way to put it. If I could write that succinctly, I'd be a contender. Thank you. Absolutely. And that's it's exactly the truth. White Americans, and not everybody, but in general, remember, it's a system. It's not about individuals. We have been played the fool. Let's just blame all the brown, black, and indigenous people for all our problems when the wealthiest elites are running the show and laughing their asses off at us as they keep getting richer and we struggle to make ends meet. This has been going on for a long time. This is nothing new. It's just we have to be willing to educate ourselves, and we're not. And I'm talking about in general. Thank you for... You want to be my writer? Okay. Ghost Killer. Some can stop racism because it's... Some can't stop because it's part of their culture. I mean, probably... I'm not really in a place to disagree or agree, but personally, there's no excuse. There just isn't. I get that, and yeah, it'd be really hard, but I have plenty of friends who were raised very racistly. Racistly, I don't know if that's like the right way to put it. They were raised racistly. They were raised to be racists, and they pulled themselves out, and they figured it out, and they delved into their hearts and said, you know what? This is not how, see, here's the thing. The cool thing about being a human, it's the gift of humanity, is that we don't have to respond and act based on just our emotions. We can actually get really upset and really scared, and it's the gift of being a human. We can reason, analyze, and you guys, I mean, you don't need me to tell you this, but that's the gift of being human. And people who are overtly racist, they're throwing away their gift. Because, sure, there are probably some really bad black people, but there's some really bad white people. There's some really bad tan people. There's some really, really bad people of every shade. And to bully and marginalize and blame a group of people who, in general, have, you know, not everybody, but have gone through living hell and whose ancestors have had crimes against humanity done to them. I don't get it. Shouldn't we be the opposite of that? I just don't get it. But yeah, it's very complicated. It's very psychological and ugh. And I know you don't need me to say this. So yeah, let's go. Maybe they can't stop, but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. No excuses. Let me see. Ghost Killer, I say to hell with those people. Yeah, I mean, of course. And I don't, oh loud, no, I'm just kidding. If anyone's willing to be educated, I have this like, it's a fantasy that I keep thinking like, oh, if they really knew the truth about our history, they'd be like, oh my God, I never knew, you know. That's a fantasy I have. It's probably a white privilege thing, I don't know. But yeah, I'm willing to educate people who want to listen. There are people who are too far gone. It's too scary. That was Ghost Killer. Nails and glitter. It's also part of their self-worth. Right, I guess so, yeah. Like, if you really suck at life and you're told time after time in so many various ways that but you're white, it's so cool, then maybe, like I say, if the best thing you ever did was get born white, I'm sorry, that's really sad. Because you didn't do anything. You didn't do it. So, but yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's part of their, absolutely. Michael, you can't play both sides. Can't protest racism, but be complacent with family members who are racist. The biggest challenge for white people is challenging family members and friends. Absolutely. And you know what, Michael, I love that point, and I'll speak to it for 1 second if you don't mind. Right now, there's no convincing or teaching of anything. My entire family, not my family that I live with, my family from when I was, born into, they will not watch a single video. And they didn't raise me to be overtly racist. They raised me colorblind. Like, oh, we treat people the way we like to be treated. They didn't raise me over. I've never heard them say a racial slur in their life. Not even my grandparents. But they didn't teach me anything either. And they, to this day, they can't stand what I do. They have no respect for it. Every single last one of them has zero respect for it. They can't watch. It's just too upsetting. They could care less. And it's devastating to me, but they don't care. And that's a family that was raised pretty darn, I really don't ever recall. We just pretended it wasn't there. But it's kind of the era I was raised in. My father even taught me about Martin Niemöller, who was the German Protestant Hitler hated, who was a professor and who had lots of regret that academics didn't do more before Nazi Germany turned. And his regret was that they watched and they really didn't do much. And he wrote the saying he used to read to his students is, first they came, and it's been written many different times, first they came for the Unionists. Well, I wasn't a Unionist, so I didn't stand up. Then they came for the Jews, and I wasn't a Jew, so I didn't stand. Then they came for me, and there was nobody left to stand up. And he wrote it in many different ways, but that's, my parents even I learned that from my dad, yet they won't look at any of my stuff at all. They're appalled or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, enough about me. Great point, Michael Harris. Neil, let's get Kim on free TV. We can do it if we all come together and you're so sweet. You're so sweet. I just want to get the voices. What I really want, if people want to help, is to come on the panels. Find people who want to come on the Tuesday panels I'm starting, and they want to talk real. And they want to talk about real subjects. And obviously, a lot of people are so afraid it might not happen. It might not materialize. I've been just wanting this so badly because I want to be in the little corner right there, just kind of like hosting. But I can't get, my friends are scared. And I don't blame them. So, I know a couple of my bold friends who are, Pat, you're not scared. And I'm laughing at it because I could cry. This is terrifying. My friends who are my non-white friends and some of my white friends are too afraid to come on my live show. And that speaks to the sickness of our culture. But anyway, that's very, very sweet. Thank you, Neil, and thank you, Dave. You're very nice. I'm going to scroll again. Neil, for now, let's all post that she has a show on the YouTube every Wednesday. Thank you. I would so appreciate the help, because without, I want to keep this going. The point of the show is for people to see a white person, yeah, I'm very white, talking about racism. Because most white folks in America are terrified to talk about racism. And I'm not talking at this like high level over people's heads. I'm just talking like shooting the shit with my friends. Just talking. Just having a conversation. And maybe throwing in a little history here and there. This isn't like highly academic. This is just chatting. And I love it. Because if a white person's watching, they're like, wow, she survived. She lived through it. I'm actually serious. I said the word black and it was okay. Because the biggest thing with white folks and what they're mostly scared of, and I can't answer for everybody, is they don't want to offend anybody. And they don't want to, should I say black? Should I say African American? What do? I don't know what to do. I'll just be quiet. I won't. You gotta, no. You have to take a risk. And I have a whole video on that. You have to take a risk. And you're going to mess up and you're going to feel like an idiot. And you're going to be like, people think I'm racist. And you just got to do it. Just got to do it. It's way past time for white folks to start supporting real equity. So, but thank you. Oh my gosh. So I count on you guys, because right now, I can't really even communicate now on Facebook anymore. So, but yeah, I so appreciate it. I have such a nice friends. Don't make me cry. I'm gonna cry. Okay, don't make me cry. Neil, I'm working on. Neil, for now, let's all. Okay, I'm working on several different avenues for angry. Neil, you are so good to me. Now, Neil, I have to tell you about Neil. I'm gonna toot Neil's horn for him, I guess you could say. Neil had a syndicated show in the United States. He's a talk radio host. So Neil's kind of like, Neil knows people, and he's just the nicest man you will ever meet. And, sorry Neil, you can't stop me, his ancestors were, some of them were abolitionists. And I think that is just something to be incredibly proud of. I don't believe what people say when they say, that's just what they did then. No, I don't buy it. It's like saying ripping children out of their parents' arms who crossed the border. It's just what we did. No, we were humans back then like we were humans now. And I get that there was a lot against people who, they'd burn your house down, they'd kill you. Or, try to, if you were an abolitionist or whatever. But I'm telling you, it wasn't just what people did then. It was a choice. And I will never believe that, I get that all the time as a racist excuse. That's just what they did. No, it's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Thank you, Neil. Dave, Facebook is getting my atrocious in there, more atrocious maybe, in the censorship. I've never heard of anyone getting banned indefinitely. Oh, I have. You never know what you've done. They never tell me what I've done. Tom Hartman is off completely. So there's a lot going on. But yeah, it's bad. Ghost Killer. Black Dads have a bad rep in the USA, and I'm gonna get there tonight. I did a little video on them, and I was hoping to make a little dent in people understanding that we can't believe these lies. We just can't. Unitalk, hello, welcome to the show. It's going, well, I got kicked off of Facebook and Messenger completely, and what it says when people try to say hi to me is that I blocked them. So now I have all these people thinking I blocked them. I didn't block anybody. This is so crazy. The subject for tonight, we're talking about a whole bunch of Michael Harris. Oh, you bet I'm going to get you on here. Thank you. We're talking about a whole bunch of different things. Right now we're talking about how lucky I am that I get to meet a producer who has made a movie about reparations. I really, really want to show you that movie. So let me show you really fast. It's very short, and I will take all the rest of the comments, because this movie, if I can get it on there, is amazing. It looks like it's going to be incredible. And if only I can get it on here. The trailer. Just give me 2 seconds, and I am going to go, cannot find the trailer. Let me see. I have to scroll up. Sorry about that. There we are. It's a few minutes, and I can't really be on when it's on, but I am incredibly excited about this. Anything that educates the masses, anything. So let me get this on and me off, and boop, and boop, oops, boop. I'm not good at this. And here is the trailer from the producer that I'm meeting on Friday. Hopefully. Oops. Sorry.
After 400 years of slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, African Americans are suing the U.S. Department of Justice for reparations and damages.
Let's deliberate these facts. Now, the Justice Department is against African Americans.
The amount could be in the several trillions of dollars.
The United States does not look kindly upon individuals who do such acts.
And as I sat here, I realized he is Trayvon Martin and Trayvon Martin is him.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to bring in Leader Ross, a.k.a. Harriet Tubman.
They're supposed to be iconic time travel witnesses.
Over the past 400 years of denying people a fair hearing.
Unless the government agrees to be sued, it can't be.
And guess what? The government does not agree. So case closed.
Okay. So what do you, let me just get back. What do you guys think? This is going to be a movie out in February. And I got lucky enough to get invited to the, just total chance, invited to see the opening. And I'm just honored, thrilled. I mean, it was just chance though. The dude didn't even know who I was. The guy didn't even know who I was. I got lucky. So it's a long story. But anyway, let me get some comments. That's the trailer. I am hoping that we spread this trailer far and wide because people need to know our real racial history. How old are you? Young and talk. Probably old enough to be your grandmother. Probably. Very likely. How's that for specifics? Thank you. You're very sweet. Thank you so much. Let me see. Neil's in Glitter. She is on Twitter and Instagram, and we need to help her. Oh, you're so awesome, Neil. Nails and Glitter. They don't want to lose their jobs and their livelihood. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Neil, there are many social media places we can all help to get her on. You're so sweet to me. I almost cried before I came on because when they got me off, I'm like, that's it, I'm off forever. And I don't love Facebook. There's no love lost between us. But that's where I started my original groups, and that's how I dole out information. So, plus my YouTube channel, of course. Am I in New York? I live in New York now, but I'm from Southern California. So, but yeah. Neil, absolutely. That's my honor. You are an amazing human and have helped me tremendously on more than I will ever be able to thank you. So, Michael Harris, we are pretty thick-skinned. We have to be. If you're white and worried about our perception or us being offended by your opinion, consult with some friends of color on how to address the topic. Fantastic advice. And people ask me a lot of times, like, what should I do? Go meet someone and become really good friends with them. That doesn't look like you, that is not your religion, that has some differences than you. And you will realize the coolest thing. They're human, just like you. Just another shade, just another religion. This is not rocket science. We're all humans. And that is why the segregation that we have, that is, people are saying, studies are saying it's worse than pre-64. It is not helping us. Because people, 3 out of 4 white American adults in the United States today do not have a single close friend who's not just white like them. So how are we supposed to know? How are we supposed to know, like, what's going on? We're susceptible to all these lies and this propaganda. It's really bad. But yeah, great advice, Michael. Thank you. Niels and Glitter, definitely should do a call-in show. Anonymity would be good to get people to talk, and a few YouTubers do call-in shows from time to time. Yeah, you know what? I think that's starting to sound like a better idea. I know you were telling me, yeah, maybe that's what I'll need to do. Thanks, Anton. You look outstanding to be my granny. Oh, well, I probably could be. Thank you. That's very cute. All right. So anyway, thank you. Let me see. Where were we? So I hope this movie is a success. The producer's name is Chad Cooper, and I hope you like the trailer. I can't wait to see it. He seems like a really cool guy. Definitely friendly. The next topic, if people are still up and ready for it, it's getting late, I'm sure. The next topic is that I have, and anything you guys want to bring up, go for it. How Trump's racism has impacted the world. I have people writing to me from YouTube, from different countries, and they're saying, do you realize what you guys are doing? Like I run the place. Do you realize what you guys are doing is ruining our country too? And I'm like, yeah, and it's bad. And part of it is that we cannot underestimate the influence of America. You know, I don't think we're going to stay there as an influence. I think we've really destroyed it. But it's just hard to calculate precisely the extent of damage that his overt racism is having on the fabric of our nation, let alone other countries. We know hate crimes and domestic terrorism have gone up significantly, increased. But most immigrants and native-born Americans, maybe who are not white, and maybe some who are white, I don't know, live in a lot of fear of law enforcement officials because they've become emboldened to think that they can act with impunity. Our system of policing is broken. And yeah, there's good police, but when you compare the numbers, we're murdering our own citizens. Other countries that are similarly wealthy and similarly developed, they're not doing that. We're doing that. We are doing that. It's us. And we're not doing anything about it. Because, to be honest, police have always been, their origins were that of slave catchers. And I did 3 videos on it a couple months back. There are solutions to police murdering our own citizens with impunity. There are tons of solutions. There are pilot programs. There are things that work. We just don't want to use them. And I'm sorry if I'm being blunt. We enjoy our racism. And not everybody, but enough people that if we didn't like black people getting murdered for doing nothing by police, it would be done. If the masses didn't want it, it would be over. And that's my truth, I believe. So we clearly don't really give a shit. And I'm sorry, but we would have training. I've studied the stats on training. We train our police how to kill, not how to de-escalate. It's crazy. The people we have, I'm reading a study right now, and I'm going to do a video on a report by a pretty good source and I was studying it over and trying to cross-reference, that says that 40% of the police in America have domestic violence issues. Okay, you can debate all you want. A police person shouldn't have 1% domestic violence issues. None, 0. That's insane. Okay, and what the study is about their spouses. And what do you do when you're living with the person so anyway, it's a whole other story. I'm going to do a video on it. I just have to keep doing research. Let me see. Nails and glitter, definitely. Okay, I gotta scroll down, and I'm going out on a limb here saying, okay, that was sarcastic. I'm not going out on a limb here saying I think the majority of Americans believe that Trump's openly encouraging hate and division, and I think we can all kind of agree on that. His racism, bigotry has impacted the world as far away as New Zealand. It's poisoned our international climate. It's undermining our ability to secure our global interests. I mean, you name it, it's doing that. It's making us unsafe. Other countries see that we're divided. It's really awful. Multiple surveys and common sense says that people of the world don't like us, and they certainly don't respect us now. And if you look at the polls of people from other countries, we're the laughingstock of the world. And they're not laughing, it's pathetic. Also, when our president is racist and a bigot and a bully to our own citizens, how can we be credible and say to other countries, stop the human rights abuses? We're doing them. It's like, my God. How about, like we say, don't build a wall, build a freaking mirror and take a look at our behavior. I don't say this because I hate white people. I say this because I believe in white people. and I believe in all people. We got to be better than this. This can't be our best. I mean, maybe this is our best. That's pathetic. We have to learn to be, we are on this planet for such a small period of time. We have to drop our egos and treat our fellow humans like they matter. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable how we just won't stop. So we're telling other countries what to do while we're screwing up horribly. I guess Americans maybe need a reminder. A majority of the world's population is what we sometimes refer to as people of color. We just maybe don't travel around or outside to figure that out, but we are not the majority of the world. And to fight terrorism, to stop pandemic diseases, to stop weapons proliferation, to stop organized crime, to address climate change, to punish outlawed states. We need to cooperate with other nations around the world. Nothing good can come from not being a globalism and being a citizen of the. It's just nothing. It's too late. We are all connected. The president's alienating our allies and insulting potential partners, calling them shithole countries. Remember when Trump said the 4 members of Congress should go back to their own country? I mean, it's just, this is terrible. And Trump seems to have a soft spot for cruel dictators. And don't even get me started about his thing with Putin. We all know Trump's all about himself. He really doesn't give a shit about America. But some have now taken it a step further and are wondering if he's even playing on America's team at all. What do you think? I mean, have you seen the polls from other nations? It's really, really bad. There is a video from, let me take some, there's a video from Canada that I just posted the other day, and it could be America in a heartbeat. I mean, nice, sweet Canadians are known for like being sweet and friendly, and it's like, wow. And I'm not, in fantasy land, but seriously, I'll show you guys this. Let me just find where I'm at, take a couple more comments. Let me see here. I'm sorry for the delay. My goodness. Anton, it's all part of the satanic elite agenda. I'm not sure what it's part of, but it's not something good. So, yeah, I don't know what to say. Nails and glitter, it's part of the dehumanization. Black people aren't people, so Americans can ignore the abuse. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we do. We dehumanize, and we fall for it. Anton, I have an article on my website about satanic elite and their connection to the Illuminati. I'll give you my website with Kim's permission. Oh, absolutely. Anything, Neil. Anything, because, yeah, that's what we're here for. I'm not here to educate you. I'm here to learn as well. So please jump right on in if you have information that could be good. And if you say something wrong, everyone will jump on you. But hopefully they'll be respectful about it. And you'll live. It's okay. Take risks. Take chances. It's okay. That's what I do. And if I'm wrong, I'm like, oops. And I try to learn from it. YouTube is weird about URLs, nails and glitter, lately. Yeah, there definitely are some extra things happening for safety, and that's a good thing. But in the midst, so far YouTube's left me alone, but in the midst, well, Mark Zuckerberg's a whole nother story. He's not going to get a get out of jail free card. He's a racist. But anyway, that's just my humble, not so humble opinion. Richard, hello. Racism is a government took something that it will never let go of. Use face against the other to stay in power. Yes. Absolutely. It's unbelievable how we white folks fall for it. We just don't want to think. Ghost Killer, do people know the police use arrests of black and throw them in the way of angry white mobs, and that's what led to lynching? Oh yeah, there were more lynchings after slavery than during slavery. Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know. When I think of white folks, there's a ton they don't know about, and I don't know every white person, but there's a ton they don't know about lynchings because it's horrific, it's barbaric, it's terrorizing. And so there's a lot. And in my next videos on hidden history, I will be talking about the sick shit that they did and do. I mean, people would get souvenirs. It's just unbelievable. And no, I don't think most white folks know about that. Most white folks in America don't think that we have a problem with systemic racism. That's the last survey I read, so, from pretty good sources. So they definitely don't know the details. But I wanted to just one more time, for some people are here that weren't here before, to ask. I'm starting my panels on Tuesdays, and I'm trying to do them weekly, and it's going to be people who just live it, people who are academic and know it, or people who just live it, have a PhD in life experience, to come on and I'm going to host it and just tell their opinions, and I'll work with you beforehand, so you won't just come on and I'll be like, okay, talk. It's going to be easy. But I'm having trouble getting people. I wanted the first topic to be the 7th. Is that right? Did I mess up the calendar? 7th or 6th, or let me see. Nope, the 7th. Okay. I wanted it to be fetishism. I can't even say it. I think that's something that would be really good for white folks to know about. I know some black women, it's extremely upsetting. Some don't care. I mean, no one's a monolith, but some black men are really, really insulted by that. Some black men probably love it. I don't know. It's a mix. But I think that's something that needs to be brought out into the open, because there are things we just don't talk about, and I think we get a good audience for that too. I'm not too shy to do it. I'm just not sure if I'll get anybody to do it with me. So that's the whole thing. I think it's really important for every aspect to be covered. Let me see here. Michael Harris, Trump is nothing without his supporters. They argue amongst us. Not everyone who says they're an anti-Trump is actually against him. There's been a lot of deception. Watch for the... Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. People are so uneducated about their implicit bias and their covert racism, and they don't even know what racism is. It's out of control. We're uneducated. Yeah. But in my mind, and you might hate me for this, if you support Trump, by definition, you are an overt racist. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to name call. I'm just trying to be real. You might not say the N-word. You might have a good friend who's black. But you know what? It wasn't a deal breaker. You saw him be racist. You heard about the Central Park 5. You heard about his dealings. He didn't just turn racist. He's always been racist. And it wasn't a deal breaker for you. So that, in my mind, is unconscionable. It's unbelievable. Okay. Now I'm going off here. Yeah, he is nothing without his supporters, and his supporters will not listen. They watch Fox News only. Something's wrong. This is not good. Let me see. Anton. Neil, I would like to check that out. Excellent. Nails and glitter. During slavery, you didn't damage your equipment. After slavery, the terrorists began and continue to this day. Can you expand on that? I'm not 100% sure I know what you're saying, and I want to know, nails and glitter. And then by the time I get there, I'll be like, what is she talking about? Sorry. I need a call-in show. But, oh, Anthony, hello. Nice to have you. I am extremely happy. I just wanted to tell you, once again, right before I started, I got kicked off of Facebook and Messenger, and I might be off for good. So if it says I blocked you, I didn't block you. They blocked me from, I don't know. I didn't block anybody. But I'm already getting people saying, you blocked me on my texting, and I didn't block anybody. They're messing with me. But thank you for being here, Anthony. think that's awesome that you're here. Tony, Michael Harris, I have neighbors like that. Neil, thank you, Kim, for letting me give my, oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me? Thrilled, thank you. Michael Harris, people who are not, who are non-racist need to take racism more seriously. Racism acts out on their hate. That includes mass shootings. Right. Silencing white folks need to realize that they can be affected in the end. Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure I want to represent you. That's why you need to come on so you can be on here and I can ask you. Racism is not good for white people. We think it is. It's not. Not even close. It's not good for us. We are living a lie that it's good for us. It's not. What could be good about hurting our fellow humans? I mean, there's just, I don't even want to get into it. I'll turn into that angry soccer mom and be like, yeah, it's ridiculous. Great points. Let me see here. Richard, if racism is done away with in America, what does the government have to rule over the people with? My keyboard is not working right. Oh, no, right. We have to, right. It will actually be an actual nation run for the people, by the people, of the people. I don't know. And democracy's kind of like my other friend Michael was saying, we're on an absolute path to becoming a regime. I don't think it's rocket science. I think any academic can probably, but he's really well read, so he knows stuff. Yeah, racism, nails and glitter, is the heart of this country. The country functions because of it. I think it leads back to everything. Yeah. Nails and glitter, we were valued as property before, but after slavery, we were terrorized because we had no value. Yeah, it was just a threat. Black people were a threat to their other people's jobs, and you can put any law you want, but until a group of people change their hearts, they're going to circumvent the hell out of whatever you set as law. And just ask Trump. It's what he does. So I'm going to play that little rant. This is a person in Canada who, I have no proof that they got this from us, but it sure as hell doesn't help. Having overtly racist, ugh. Anyway, that's all I can say. And so check it out. It's fast and it's really scary. And let me just get off here. And this should go viral. I hope this person is, and I'm not trying to get revenge. I'm not trying to be mean, but this person is one of the reasons why we are really having problems. She's really cruel. So check it out.
What? If you fucking do that, you fucking chink. I love you too. You fucking bitch. Get out of here, man. Okay? You started it. You started it. No. She started it. She goes, I don't know what a signal is. You don't know what a signal is? Guess what? Even in China, they have signal lights. Yeah? You kick me? You kick me? I'll take those fucking glasses off your face and shove them through your...
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Very, 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 very not good. I have to get back to my... Give me 1 second. Zoop. Oh my goodness. 1 second, and I will be... Whoa. There we go. So that wasn't pretty. There was nothing pretty about that. I guess it's an example of we're not exactly helping. You know, can't say America did this. I don't know who did this, but we're being leaders of racism now. And let me see. What I mean is, this is Michael Harris. You can turn a blind eye to a racist neighbor. Then that neighbor snaps out and shoots up Walmart on a hate spree, and you're harmed in the process. Now you've been affected. Right. Okay, gotcha. Thank you for clarifying. Absolutely. Like, as a whole, we have to be our brother's keeper. I mean, these people need help. And I want to challenge white Americans not to be heroes, not to get their picture on Facebook and be like, yay, I'm a hero, and not to be leaders, because it's not our place. We do not know more than the people living it. But to be humans, to use our humanity, use our white privilege to educate other white people. It's just being human. You would do that in anything else. Why in the hell wouldn't we do that with systemic racism? I don't get it. But great points. Thank you, Michael. Ghost Kella. Most Americans would be a laughingstock outside of this country. There's some people outside this country that laugh at America for whitewashing history, like white Egypt. LOL. Well, yeah, I mean, it's there's a reason we're kept ignorant. It's going to come from bottom up, not top down. So, white folks, we need to educate each other. It's not a hard learn. It's a lot to learn in the sense that it's a lifetime of learning, but the basics aren't hard to learn, and you'll get it. I promise you'll get it, and your world will never be the same when you understand systemic racism. And they just keep learning and keep learning. And I learn something new almost every day. It's really incredible. Let me see. Richard, I hate to say this because I hate Trump, but Trump is doing the job that the higher ups put him in power to do. Out of chaos comes their control over all. And you know what? That's why the Republicans who are staunch, they hated him at first. And because, he was racist, he was this. Now they literally, okay, I'm sorry. He has murdered people. I hold him 100% responsible for the children that died in custody. The last 10 years before him, not a single child died in custody, in our custody. I believe his policies are 100%. He's already, that's just one example. But the craziest thing is, he's doing exactly what they want. And that's why all these people, they know right from wrong. They're not freaking morons. They don't care because he's upholding racism. He had him at racist. That's it. That's all he needed to do. It's so terrifying how prevalent that is in our country. It's the depths of it are, the more you learn, it's like, wow. But great point. Thanks for that. The only good thing he's done is he's closed the cognitive dissonance gap. He's made our country's behavior much more like we think. And I'm talking overall. And you can't hide from it anymore. You can't pretend you don't see. Our president is the de facto leader of the modern KKK for the world. And unless you're hiding under a rock, you cannot pretend to not know. You can. But like Jane Elliott always says to her audiences that claim they don't know what's going on, how would you like to be treated the way we treat black people in America today? And not a single honest person would. So maybe we actually do know a bit about racism and that we have allowed this to go on. We've allowed it. And just because our ancestors and our parents and their grandparents let it does not mean that we have to sit here and allow it. That's obnoxious is what it is. So, nails and glitter, patriarchy, capitalism, policing is all connected to racism, privilege, and entitlement. Yep. Nails and glitter, as far as the government is concerned, we are still only property, only good for what they can get from us, such as slaves to the master. We capitalism on steroids. That's what I call it. Capitalism on steroids. It's gone too far. It's out of control. We've forgotten our humanism. We've forgotten that we're humans. Think about the homeless people. This is how it goes. This is how the fall of Rome kind of. I'm not an expert, but the parallels are right there. Nails and glitter, yet white slaves get better privileges to distract them from their shackles. Yeah, I mean, the white privilege is real. Tony, I saw that video yesterday. The funny thing is that the racist woman had the nerve to call the police. Oh, yeah, I know, that was crazy. I mean, that's privilege. Calling the police. I have a couple videos on that on my YouTube channel I want you to see. Okay, I'm sorry, but she knew she could call the police. And because she's white, she truly believed that they were going to believe her. I mean, that's beyond arrogant, but that's white privilege, and that's white supremacy. It is unbelievable. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. That was crazy. When she said that, I was like, oh, for the love of God. Okay, so that's just insane. Neil, right on nails and glitter, you nailed it. Nails and glitter. I'm aware all citizens are shackled, but most don't understand the hierarchy that allows white privilege to keep right. I mean, we're not educated enough to know. Absolutely. I am misspelling on purpose because I triggered the algorithm. Yeah. That's not actually a bad idea. Interestingly, if you want this post to show up more, I guess there's these little things at the bottom. You can put happy faces and things like that. I've been trying to figure out the YouTube algorithm, and they say to get a show to be higher up, the more comments and the more little happy faces and weird little, I don't know, whatever. So jump on in anytime. If you know what, I've never been on a live show, so I don't know it from that side, and I don't see it here. But yeah, no, I get it. If you put white people right now, Zuckerberg's formula is, and obviously we're not on Facebook, his formula is to equate the N-word with whites. It is perfectly even. There is no differential in power base. There's no understanding on his part, at least, or maybe there is, but there is no action taken to understand that, no, it is not equal to call someone an N-word or call them a white person. No. Sorry. And he doesn't get it. And so I understand why you're misspelling stuff. She's trying to stay out of there's buzzwords. This is not good. Trump is orchestrating, Lamont, hello. Trump is orchestrating a racial divide in order to cause domestic terrorism to get the fear vote to the polls in his favor. Absolutely. The GOP Senate will not impeach. Peep game. Yes, I'm available for freelance. Okay. Awesome. They're not going to, some things are a conspiracy, you know? I'm not a big conspiracy theorist type person, but you know what? When it comes down to it, some things actually are. And white supremacy is absolutely systemic, and it is absolutely purposeful, and Trump had him at racism. The minute folks found out that he was one of us, it didn't matter what he did or said. Clearly, it didn't matter what he did or said. He's done insane things. And this is not like a revelation or something. It's just, we have never dealt with our racism in this country. We've never even admitted to it. It's unbelievable. Thank you, Lamont. Great comments. Like this video. Oh, no, like this video and share this video. Thank you. Thanks, Nails and Glitter. Before it gets too late, I think we should all start posting you're so sweet. Angry Sucker Mom's video on Facebook. Even if we are posting the same video, it will get attention and get more known to YouTube. Give some help. Thank you. Gary says, good idea. You are so sweet. I just appreciate I want to keep doing this. And right now they've taken away my my ability to communicate completely, and I don't know if I'm going to get it back. It's absolutely devastating. This matters so much to me. I have no control. There's nothing I can do. So that's all I've ever wanted to do is do this, is educate white folks and get people talking about racism and feeling comfortable doing so. And I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to continue this channel. I'll try, but that's where my folks come from, is different social media. So anyway, thank you so much I appreciate anything. There's no such thing as white people anyway, right? Of course not. I know, I say this every week to you. I know. It's no. You know what? If we have different people listening, it's good for them to learn. White people is like a made up thing to be rotten to non-white people. And so that's a long story. I should do a video on that, huh? You should do a video with me on that. Yeah, there's no white people. It's made for hate. So my next topic I wanted to go into, if you guys are into this, and oh, I will be emotional here. I want to talk about, and come just say it, Mark Zuckerberg is a total racist. I gave him the benefit of the doubt over and over and over again. I thought maybe this, maybe that. The jury's back. My jury, my white privileged jury is back, and he is a freaking racist, and he makes me sick. And I will tell you why really fast. And it really isn't only what he's doing to my stuff, because I'm just one person. Who am I? Just, But I have read articles on how he equates saying the word white as equally offensive as the N-word. My God, he seems to have very little understanding of the role power plays in our nation's culture. It's more than clear that he set his company's policies without even the most minimal understanding of oppression, marginalization, and that the playing field is not equal. Calling someone saying white is not the same as saying the N-word. I'm sorry. It's ridiculous. Anecdotal proof comes from the fact that anti-racist educators and activists online are going, first of all, we all began going to Facebook jail over and over and over again and getting more and more time in, basically for speaking the truth about our own racial history. And that is horrific. He is out of control. I want his company broken up if I had any say in it, which I don't. He is Big Brother now. He gets to decide that lies can stay on there. He allowed the Russians to get in there. He allows people to advertise bullshitting lies. He has way too much control. Way too much control. 40% of the people in the United States get their news from him. And he's allowing fabrication. I mean, these are like those shows. What are those shows called again? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Like, these are like TV shows we watch, like horror TV shows. I don't get it. How can speaking the truth in a scholarly video be against community standards? Give me a break. I know how. Because he's racist as fuck. I'm sorry. It's the truth. His former co-founder, who clearly got a bad deal out of this, had some words of wisdom to say. And I know it might sound like sour grapes because, he didn't get the company, the co-founder, he lost, Mark won. I am a huge advocate of believing and wanting Facebook to be broken up. He will not control it. He is allowing racism to thrive. And with all this fake news, and if it's really true that 40% of the people in America get their news from Facebook, did you see his testimony in Congress? Did anyone see his testimony in Congress? It was clear that he had absolutely no clue of what was happening regarding equity and diversity in his own company. Zero zippo. I can't remember the name of the congressperson that grilled him, but I was just like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Who? Oh, AOC. It was AOC, but no, somebody else did too. It was a black lady. I can't remember. Thank you. I don't know who said that. Thank you. But yeah, it was a black lady, and she was absolutely nails. She was just like, so you pretty much know nothing. I mean, I think I posted that on my YouTube channel. If you want to see, it's short and it will blow your mind. He knows nothing. In his testimony to Congress, it was clear that he didn't know what was going on, and he's met repeatedly with the president. He's met repeatedly with racist Republicans. I don't like to name call. With great power comes greater responsibility. I mean, that's like, from the movies. And he doesn't get that. He's powerful and he doesn't give a shit. It's capitalism on steroids. I don't know what it is. I don't know him. Facebook allows admitting fake advertising and seems to have no desire to stop it. They're indignant about it. Facebook allows the Russians to infiltrate our last election, and they won't monitor this kind of stuff. Joyce Beatty, was it? Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you. She was good. And I got to get back to comments. There's been a crackdown on people who run mid to large groups, and many are getting kicked off, their accounts deleted. So I really want you to tell me what you think of his ex-partner's take. This guy's got my respect. And yeah, he might be mad. He says he's not, but I mean, who knows? But you know what? Truth is truth. Whether it's coming from someone, the enemy, or, I'm sorry, it is. So check this out, and then I'm going to take all the comments. I was really glad to run into this one. Let me see. Where is it? I think I can find it. Okay. I'm going to try. Let me see here. Boop, boop, boop. And this is the former co-founder.
This is me back in my college days, and this is my roommate, Mark. Together, we founded Facebook in 2004. Now, 15 years later, I think Facebook has grown too big and too powerful. Every week brings new headlines about privacy violations, election interference, or mental health concerns. I haven't been at the company in over a decade, but I feel a sense of responsibility to account for the damage done. Americans have the power to right the ship through government action. We need new regulations. It's time to break up Facebook. The early days of Facebook tell a classic American story of innovation and entrepreneurship. From our college dorm room, we started a little social network for our friends that exploded in popularity and connected the world. Mark's hustle in those early years made it possible for Facebook to dominate our rivals, like Friendster, MySpace, Tumblr, and many others. These competitors made us better, and then we beat them out. This is how it's supposed to work in America. Hard work leads to economic success. You start a small business and compete on the merits to provide a better product. Today, nearly 3 billion people use Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, and they're all owned and controlled by the same company. Of every dollar spent buying ads on social media, 84 cents goes to Facebook. It's now worth over $500 billion. That's roughly the size of the GDP of the bottom 65 countries in the world combined. It's not just that Facebook is a really big social network, it's everything. When a single company dominates any market, they become susceptible to abusing their power. Social networking is like most other American industries. There used to be plenty of healthy competition, but now many industries are controlled by just one or two companies. Companies often create an illusion of choice. You think there are hundreds of beer brands out there, but they're all made by one or two companies. Why is this a problem? Well, when companies get too big, they get sloppy and careless. And that leads to things like poor privacy practices, enabling foreign actors to meddle in elections, the spread of violent rhetoric, fake news, and the unbounded drive to capture more of our data and attention. I often hear people say, "I'm shutting down my Facebook account. Thank God for Instagram," not realizing that Instagram is owned by Facebook. People are powerless in this situation because there's nowhere else to go. Monopolies stifle innovation. Facebook snatches up competitors by buying them before they get too big, or by copying their innovations. Despite all the money and hype being poured into new startups, there hasn't been a single major social media platform launched since 2011. The harm goes beyond the economy, though. It goes to democracy itself. When companies become empires, people are stripped of power. Facebook's employees write complex rules called algorithms that decide what you see in your newsfeed. Facebook can decide what messages get delivered and which don't, and what exactly makes for violent or inappropriate content. Even Mark himself has said that he and the Facebook team have too much power over speech. Facebook does have a board of directors, but Mark owns the majority of the shares. Unlike the leader of a democracy, there are no checks and balances on Facebook. Mark has no boss, and he cannot be fired. Listen, it'd be great if Mark could fix this himself, but this, ironically, is a problem he cannot solve. We need the government to intervene with 2 steps. First, the Facebook empire needs to be broken up. America's regulated corporate empires before, and we can do it again. This isn't unprecedented. And surprisingly, it often boosts the value of these companies in the long run. Federal Trade Commission can force Facebook to unwind its acquisitions of WhatsApp and Instagram. Then we'll see real competition around social media and digital messaging. Breaking up Facebook isn't a punishment for its economic success. It's a way to guarantee that other new companies can compete. We also need a new government agency to protect Americans from the overreach of Facebook and other companies like it. Think about it. We don't trust airlines or pharmaceutical companies to regulate themselves, and we shouldn't trust social media companies either. We need basic privacy protections and the ability for people to move their data around as they please. Right now, Facebook makes free speech decisions on its own with little accountability. Instead, we need government to set guidelines, not Facebook employees in Menlo Park. I don't think Mark's a bad guy, and I've made this decision to speak out because I feel a sense of responsibility for what Facebook has become. And, to be honest, I'm angry that Mark's obsession with growth led him to sacrifice security for clicks. I think we all want to live in a country where David can take on Goliath, where a kid with a smart idea in a dorm room can start $1 billion company. We've strayed from that ideal, and breaking up and regulating Facebook will help put us back on that path.
Okay. I know that was kind of long, but I think it was probably worthwhile because it's just so important. He's one of the founders. Let me get back here. Boop. Hopefully I'm back here. I really love that guy for what he did. Let me just see what you guys think. Thanks for staying and watching and supporting the channel here. He made sense. What do you guys think? Let me see here. Oh my gosh. Just gotta find my place. Sorry about the delay. Oh my goodness. I went way too far. Sorry. Okay. I'm getting there. I think I got there. Gary. My older relatives use 2 words for racists. A color and a word for garbage. Oh. A friend said it was racist against non-whites because it means some whites are worthless. Oh, yeah. I get what you're saying. Here's the thing. I mean, the power differential is just so huge. There's no comparison. And somebody calling you white, it's not the same. It's words have power, and yeah, but I know there's just so much to this. Fighting racism is not a sometime thing, but an all-time thing. John, thank you for being here. Oh my gosh, absolutely. And that is, oh my gosh, I'm so thrilled to have you. This is what I keep saying to the white folks. It's not a hobby. It's a lifestyle. It's not something you do to get your picture on Facebook. It's not something you do to march in the Women's March so you can be like, I marched in the Women's March. And I'm not trying to bag on women. I'm just saying, like, it's a lifestyle of education. It's because you care. It's not because you want your picture on Facebook. It's because You want the fellow humans that you don't know to have equity. This is not a complex thing, but yet, because each generation doesn't seem to pounce on it and say, just because I was born into this doesn't mean I uphold it. It's really frustrating. Can you tell? I'm like, ah. Anyway, let me get some more comments. I hope I'm not skipping people, but this thing keeps going zoop, zoop like this. If you only knew. I don't know if you... let me just make sure I didn't... Nails and glitter. I did. He looked like a deer in headlights. Michael. Her name was Joy. Okay, got that part. Goskilla. Like there's no such thing as as black people either. Right. Yeah. Nails and glitter. Some of it is they don't want people in large numbers to communicate and mobilize against the status quo and the establishment. Nails and glitter, 100%. Absolutely. It's, they don't. I mean, he's met with the de facto leader of the modern KKK, Mr. Trump. I mean, I don't know Mark Zuckerberg, but all I can say is he is really, really upholding racism. As I said before, with great power comes greater responsibility, and he clearly does not get that. I know for people like me who are trying to capture an audience and get people to think, I'm trying to get the white folks to care and to think and to want to talk about it. I'm completely shut out. I had a group of 5,000 and a group of 35,000. And right now I'm shut out of them. And I'm shut out of all my friends. I don't know how many friends I have, like 1,000 probably plus, or I don't know. I'm completely shut out of all of them. And now a lot of them think that I blocked them. So it's going to be like, I'm trying to think who I blocked somebody before, but maybe once or twice. But yeah, so I know personally I'm devastated because there's a good chance I'm not going to get it back. And that's how I get people to watch and people to tell their friends and people to see. White folks on my Facebook account and social media, they ran like the wind long ago. Well, there was that one letter I wrote that might have encouraged it, but okay, I'll just, this is like true confessions time. A while back, and I did not name names, I don't know who, I have like 1,000 plus friends like everybody else. I put, if you support, this is a confession, I'm embarrassed, but I did it. And you know what? I'm embarrassed just because it's not like a sweet, nice thing to do, but I mean it but with the bottom of my heart. I said, point blank, dear friends, if you support Trump in any way, shape, or form, go fuck yourself. Oh, but before you do, unfriend me because I want nothing to do with you. How dare you make a vote and a support to take away human and civil rights from my fellow humans? And I read it every year, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what I think. And it's not nice. And I have white privilege, and I guess I'm become kind of bold in my old age because that is how I feel. And I lost so many friends. Oh my God. But you know what? I don't want them as friends. I am privileged enough to say that. Now, some people have to. You have to work with people like this. I don't. I work at home. So lucky me. But I made a very bold statement. So I don't have any white friends that aren't like, I don't have any white friends left on I mean, I do, but they're all like completely on board. So I can't get to the new people. I can't get to people who are like open to learning but just don't really know where to start or where to ask or are shy or timid so anyway, yes, I should post that letter. You guys will be like, she's evil, but the truth, I have to speak the truth. I just have to. It's a weird thing. Okay. Oh, Amelia, hello. Native Americans are the group which is most ignored than any other group. What's your take on that? My take on them is you are 1,000% right. In fact, I just was talking to somebody the other day about this exact subject. Awesome point. Of all the people who our white supremacy and systemic racism have destroyed is the native indigenous people who live here. And we really don't give a shit. And it is unfathomable. 100%. And I am completely delinquent because I have put all my studies into African Americans, Mexican Americans, and I have not delved into it. There's just so much. But absolutely, you're 100% right. Every statistic shows it, and it is unconscionable. I don't get where there's this thing where the people who we were the most cruel to, we're still the most rotten to. You'd think we'd be the most kind to, the most supportive to. Yeah, we didn't do it, but by doing nothing, we uphold our ancestors and our white counterparts, whether your parents lived here or not. We benefit from the privilege of being white. We benefit from the horror. We benefit from it. It's just called being human. Yes, my take is that. I hope I explained it right. And I would be thrilled to learn more and actually make videos and all that. Thank you for asking, Amelia. I really appreciate it. Oh, Speedy Xavier, hello. I used to laugh at the term Big Brother is watching, but it's totally true. Oh my God, it is. I just never thought in our lifetime. Like, those were 1984, George Orwell. Those were like, yeah, good point. Terrifying point. I mean, I laugh instead of cry. I'm not trying to be flippant about this, but this is crazy. I cannot believe it's surreal. That in our lifetime, but apparently it is real. Neil, thank you for that excellent comments. Neil, Speedy Xavier, it's especially true with smart TVs. For those who don't believe me, do some research. Sony, was one of the first. Oh, Sony was one of the first to admit it. Yeah. That I think what Neil's referring to, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that they're keeping track of you. Ghost Killa, thank you for being here. Peace out. Thank you so much. I know it's getting late. Bye, Moppy. John, you need to start your own nonprofit to fight racism and have your website. John. You just triggered me. I did. I started my own nonprofit. And I was naive. This is 3 years ago. I was very naive. And the people in my town were jealous, I guess, or just elitist or whatever. And I had a person infiltrate my nonprofit who didn't like, I just met her, and I'd been doing this forever. I had a model all set up. It's a long story. I don't want to get into all about me, but I did. And she decided that she knew better. She was uneducated, boasted she didn't even have a black friend and didn't know anything about it, but that she knew better. So I had a big meeting with lots of information gathered from about 400 people, and she took away the ledgers. She stole them. She went to the press, and she told them that she had a company, a business that she was running. My business. And she wanted to do a press conference on her. I had known her like a week. She was just a person who came in to volunteer. And she went to the mayor of the town, and she told her about her new business. And she had been friends with the mayor before, and the idiot mayor believed her. And I couldn't get enough people to support me because she was everywhere. Yeah. Triggered. I couldn't even talk about it for a while. She destroyed my dreams, which were to help make safe spaces and education for white people, safe spaces for people in every numerical, historically marginalized group. I actually did a write-up and got into a contest of social media to try to get funding for it. And I got honorable mention. They sent me a whole bunch of prizes, I guess you could say, little prizes. I didn't win. It was a worldwide contest, but yeah, I did it. And I hated myself for it because I allowed my naivete to destroy what I wanted to try to do. The people who took over, they took my DBA, they took my name, they went to the library, they had meetings in my name. not my personal name, but my doing business as, they were horrific people. They said, it's not your company. It's whoever wants to run. I mean, it was just the weirdest, most bizarre thing. And I fought them for a month. I was going to have a mental breakdown. And so I told my attorney, just take it, just end it. Because I didn't want to have to end. I was being tormented. It was very complicated and a horrible situation. So yeah, not good. I tried. Richard, have you ever heard of the Paddy Rollers? They're today's police. They were the slave patrol to keep the black people in check. Yeah, I didn't know that name, Richard, but I absolutely studied in depth the makings of police in the United States, starting from the South, were slave patrols. And I gotta say, the culture seems to have really caught on, because it doesn't seem a lot. And yes, there are good police, and no, I'm not saying every police is, but give me a break. It's like when the McMartin case came out of abuse in classrooms. A long time ago when I was a teacher, every teacher was scrutinized. And guess what some of us did? We said, wow, that is really awful. Come into my classroom anytime. I am 100% transparent. Do not make an appointment. Walk in anytime, because that is a horrible thing that happened. And guess what police are doing? They're doing the opposite. They're doing nothing. We have, oh my gosh, triggered again. Sorry, I'm like losing my mind here. We have rules and laws and programs that are successful. We just don't want to use them. There are solutions. We don't have to be murdering our own people. There's training. There's hiring practices. I was talking about that earlier. The statistics on police overall being violent, having violent natures, is horrible. No, every one of them doesn't. It doesn't take much. They have a freaking gun. So anyway, look at me. Sorry. Great point, Richard. Great point, John. Okay. I was taught in school that North America was basically an empty... Yes! Oh my gosh, John, you have no idea. I have this, one of the first things, I do a seminar. It's a 4-hour seminar that's interactive. It's for like new folks who are trying to learn about white supremacy. Like they don't really know much, but they want to learn, which is huge. I put the map up. This is one of my first little things. I put the map up with all the little colonies, and guess what? The rest is completely blank. And that is absolutely purposeful. What does it give you the image of? That there's no one here. I didn't learn till later on, much later in college, that there were real nations and civil. I mean, the stuff we do, like white Jesus, oh my God. I mean, it's like people don't know about the Devil's Punch Bowl. People don't know about sundown towns. They don't know about black codes. They don't know about the 13th Amendment. They don't. It's all purposeful. But great point. Great point. Stand on. Welcome to the show. Hashtag standing. Hashtag on truth. Thomas Jefferson. He feels that all men were created equally while he had slaves. Yep. That always comes up. The founding fathers were men who clearly were quite, not all of them, but most of them, they were unable to have the character to walk the walk. They could talk the talk, and it's unbelievable. We have their Constitution, which is considered a brilliant document because of its ability to change over time. And it's all kind of interesting and relative, because if you read the Cornerstone speech by the Confederacy, they hated the Founding Fathers because the Founding Fathers were too liberal, and they made a constitution that allowed for change. They allowed for the fact that someday slavery would be abolished. And so, I mean, it's all relative, but yeah, Thomas Jefferson, could not live up to being human. It doesn't, does that mean his document wasn't brilliant? I don't know. Does it mean that he is an immoral man with his own personal life? Absolutely. So, I mean, can you have both? I don't know. But yeah, great point. Mr. MS Black, if you want to know the full extent of how the Native Americans have been historically abused and used, you should read about Don Rolls. Okay, thank you. And that's for everybody and me. Standing on truth. You can not trust white people, period. Absolutely. We have earned that. Chalk's cheap. We have earned that through our actions. What I say to the white folks that I work with, I say you are not to be trusted. And sure, some people, I'm just saying in general. People of color, brown, black, indigenous, native, they will not trust you because we have earned that historically. What can we do to gain trust? The only thing we can do to gain trust is show our behavior over time to be an ally. And keep learning, and that is all we can do. And you know what? A lot of people will never trust us. It's just part of our history, and we have to deal with that. And that is something that's just the way it is, because we've earned that reputation. We've earned that. And I know every time I meet a new person who's not white, they do not trust me, and I do not blame them one stinking bit. Does it hurt me? Of course. But I'd be the same way. I know I would. Now, how many years, how many centuries does a people have to suffer at the hands of white folks until they say, you know what? I don't trust a freaking word they say. I don't know. It's a rhetorical question, but good points. I'm not shocked at all. I wouldn't. John, you have a subtle mind, and as you can argue it with warrior. Thank you. I hope you're talking to me. Thank you. Thanks, John. Nails and glitter. The Indian boarding schools, they're still finding. I know. Yeah, it's just horrific. It's unconscionable. Yeah. Mr. Oslak, the DOS rolls was basically America's earliest example of cultural appropriation, orchestrated by greedy, opportunist white men. Okay. Well, that's definitely something people are gonna wanna know about. I learn something new every day. I'm backlogged with my videos because I have so many things I want to add. I have 3 videos on hidden history that you don't know that you better know, and I have 4 more now. I have 35 new things. I mean, I can't keep up. But yeah. Thank you, Mr. MS Black. I appreciate that because people want to know where they can go to get books that are good. Michael Harris, Amelia Jordan, who ignores natives. Columbus Day is not being called Indigenous People Day. Furthermore, I'm kind of missing out on this. Let me see. Furthermore, there have been some reparations made to commemorate some tribes, none for blacks. Right, and there's no comparison, and I don't know if she was trying to compare, but I think what she was referring to, and I can't speak for her, is that the statistics for natives when compared to any group of people is in America is off the charts, like horrible, like off the charts horrible, and nobody seems to care. And yes, the reparations thing is a whole other. Absolutely, I get what you're saying, absolutely, but I think that's what she was referring to. I'm not really sure. There's no comparison to the horrors of any. There's no comparison. And I don't think anyone is trying to. It's all the same thing. It's all white supremacy. But yeah, for some reason, like I said, we treat the people we were the most ruthless, cruel, and barbaric. The worst of anybody, and I don't get it. Because we should be bending over backwards. I don't get it. But don't forget about the $5 Indian. Yep, white people who paid $5 to get those. Yeah, and there's just. It seems to me that there is no depth that can honestly talk about the truth about how entrenched we're drowning in white supremacy in our country. We are literally drowning. And it's just beyond ridiculous. It's all made up. It's crazy, and that's why I'm really, really into educating white folks. Not so they can be saviors, not so they can be leaders and say, "Oh, I'm so great," because they can be humans. It's a gift to be human. You can be afraid. You can learn something that's bad. You can hear a rumor, and you don't have to act on it. You can look it up. You can do research. You can think. You can use your God-given or whoever humanity to love your fellow humans. It's not a weakness. It's just we have some issues. Don't get me started here. I wanted to do one last thing, and I just appreciate the support so much. Break the cycle. Yep, break the cycle. That is augment, not argue. Was what? Okay, got it. Yep. Thanks, John. The number one thing you can do if you're a white person, in my very privileged white opinion, if you want to do one thing, okay, I'll name 3. Sorry, I can't control myself. First of all, make friends with somebody who doesn't look like you and who doesn't have your religion. I don't mean make friends like, hey, what's up? I mean friends like, come on over. I mean good friends. And you'll never see the world. You'll never see the world. Thank you. Listen to the voices of people. Thank you, Michael. Listen to the voices of people. Now I can't shut up, but I spent years listening and listening and listening to people from all over the country, and they're all saying the same damn thing. And white people are like, oh, they just want something. Yeah, you think it's a real conspiracy that all the people who aren't white got together and said, ooh, give me a break. They're all saying the same thing because it's true. They're all saying all they want is a little equity and fairness so that liberty and justice for all actually means something in this country that boasts liberty and justice for all. They don't want more than everyone else has. I mean, maybe some do, but not in general. We're talking groups. They just want a chance. And we have stopped them at every turn. And it's disgusting. We live a lie. Okay, I'm on a rampage again. Let me see here. Mr. Epis Black. That census in the late 1800s, which white people paid $5 a piece to falsify the documents, declaring them native. They came with fraudulent entry into these tribes and the land. It's just, yes, the land and the natives were promised. It's corrupt. It's America has never been great for everybody. Never. Richard, do you think that this country would racism up? I don't really know what you're asking. Can you maybe say it again so I'm not really sure what you mean. Maybe you're saying give racism up without a fight? No. It should be noted. Okay, and hopefully Richard's going to rewrite. I wish this was a call-in show. Michael, it should be noted, being aware of our reality doesn't mean that we aren't ambitious or lacking in success. We are seeking handouts. Right, exactly. And okay, so yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. I think personally, and this is just my opinion, it's unbelievable how, in general, overall, well and amazing Black people have accomplished amazing things, having all this effort to systemically thwart, not allowing them to gain wealth and accumulate wealth, not allowing them to, it's unbelievable how well in such a short period of time. I don't say these things to feel sorry for, they're not capable. Black people are going to save themselves. You know why? They're already doing it. But God forbid white folks would give a shit and stop watching and help out a little. I mean, these are our fellow humans. That's my only point. I have no doubt that absolutely. I hope I'm making sense, Michael. And Richard, you're saying yes. So, okay, hopefully I got it straight. I don't want to misrepresent anyone. John, white people, including myself, need to have kneeling minds when it comes to, does that say kneeling minds? When it comes to understanding those are different races. Yeah. And John, I don't know how much people know about you. Yes, yeah. But I know you have learned and grown, and I think it's awesome. You're a fantastic, model. Because a lot of white men, their egos get in the way. And it's not about us. It's not about us. That's a really hard thing to fathom. It's not about us. We want it to be about us, but it's not. Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay, Michael. Perseverance. We all have to. Right. But it's so hard though when everything seems to not have equity and going against. It's unfair. You shouldn't have to be a brilliant black person to make it in America, or a brilliant athlete, or a brilliant singer. You should be able to be just normal and make it. You shouldn't have to be doubly as good and work doubly as hard. You shouldn't have to not get this is backwards. White folks get the benefit of the doubt, and people of color don't, for the most part, and that's not fair. That's not equity. It's called systemic racism. So yeah, Richard, do you really think that this country would really give up racism? I think that's what you're asking. Absolutely not. However, it is possible to get people to move along the continuum who are white. It is absolutely possible to re-educate them. I've seen it. One of the groups that I used to run, I might not run anymore because I'm off of, it was a very, very intimate group. We brought in people who didn't know anything about systemic racism, but were willing to listen and learn. And those are the people who came in, and you know what? They came in saying, I don't see color, and da-da-da-da. And guess how they left? They left my group messaging me saying, Kim, I have to leave this group. These newbies are so annoying. They say they don't see color. That's so racist. And I'm laughing. I'm sitting here going, oh, okay, I understand. Because they feel dedicated to the group and that they're going to leave. And I'm like, no. And I'm laughing my ass off. That's how they were. And over the years, they found their voice. They learned. People can learn. Education and travel are the best two things, and traveling's expensive, so education. So, but yeah, absolutely. I totally get what you're saying. No, they won't give up without it. No. But if we get enough people to care, public opinion can help. Michael, white women have the power to change things. White women have had a very, very interesting role historically in racism. And I have big issues personally with white women who allow and marry and support spouses who are racist. And they're like, there's just nothing I can do. I just expect more of women. Yeah, there's something you can do. Not support a racist. That's what you can do. Stand up to him. And I know there are racist women too, but I'm just saying, it's not an excuse, women's rights and, we have the right to think on our own and think on your own. If you're saying nothing and your husband's a racist piece of shit, you, by definition, are a racist piece of shit, in my opinion. Okay? And I sound extreme. No, I would never hurt or harm anyone. I just want to educate. But I'm talking in general. I'd give the shirt off my back to anybody, even a racist, because I'm not letting them set my standards. But white women, boy oh boy, I mean, they of all people should know, because they know what it's like to be put beneath men. And that white women uphold racism historically the way we have is unconscionable. Okay? They stand up for these men, and they are culpable. And I mean, think about Emmett Till. My God, The woman told a freaking lie and had this child tormented and tortured for her stupid, obnoxious lie. And think about, oh my gosh, Black Wall Street. There we go. Another, and I'm not trying to beg on, it's white people in general, we're into this. But white women and their white tears have caused more, and we should know better. So, getting all angry here. Okay, let me just see here. So yes, they have the power to change things. Mr. F.S. Black. And you know what's interesting? Just to get on more of Rampage, I have so few white women who follow me. So few. It's unbelievable. And I don't know if maybe because they hear me saying it's all your fault. No, I mean, I'm not sure why. That's my lowest. I don't get it, because we could be such good allies. We could be so helpful, but like when I think about this, I think about the Women's March. Well, the Women's March, I'm not even interested in, because it was a bunch of women and I'm saying in general, a bunch of women thinking about themselves and not understanding that transgender women are women, black women are women, Native women are women. It's like it was all about them. Well, it's easy to march in a march where you get to be on Facebook and get your picture and march about you. It's not easy to actually open up your eyes and educate yourself. So after those marches, these white women went home and, oh, let's go have lunch, let's go have dinner, and they invite all their friends over. Do you think they invited their black friends? No, because they didn't have any. And the fact is, most white women and men, but I'm talking about white women now, in America, 75% do not have a single close friend who isn't white. So the hypocrisy is real. That's all I have to say. Yes. I did a video on this, and it was, I did a lot of videos on things. Mr. F.S. Black. What most don't know about the census was it weeded out the black people who had been associated with these native tribes since the end of slavery, who were entitled to the same benefits. Absolutely. The history's been just completely, and just even now in our age, people are understanding that native people are black people. So it's just so crazy. Even full-blooded natives who had deeply melanated features were labeled black and weeded out of their own tribes. Yep, good point. That is why you need to come on to this. You need to come onto the panels. Michael, Mr. S. Black, facts. Most of us are native tribes. Some reason we are now separated. Yeah, it's nails and glitter. Ignorant white men are friggin' dangerous. Yes. I did a video on. Excuse me. And when I say I did a video on it, it's because I want people to know, if you're listening to this in reruns, because a lot of white folks listen to this in reruns. They don't come on live. Go to my YouTube and I have a video on white tears and time after time of classic examples. Women calling the police because, because they're racist. That's why they're calling the police. They're calling the police because they're freaking racist. It's just horrible. We have a history. I'm just talking about history. No, I don't hate white women. I am a white woman. No, I don't hate white people. I'm talking about the truth. And if that makes me a hater, then whoever thinks that is delusional. But I get that all the time. You just hate white people. I'm like, oh, be quiet. It's not even worth, it's like ridiculous. I actually believe in white people, that we can do better. So, okay, sorry, I'm like arguing with myself. Yeah, Michael, exactly. If they stand up and stand together, these insecure white men will fold. Absolutely. Yeah, there's no neutral. There's no neutral in this. There isn't. If you are not actively trying to educate yourself so that you can stand up to other people, you don't have to be rude. You can just say, excuse me. There's a lot of ways to do it. I've done it like this. I know you're not racist, but did I misunderstand? Did you just say da-da-da-da? And there's a lot of ways. You don't have to be an asshole to them. You can say, can you say that again? Or what did you just say? And make them say it out loud and say, wait, I can't hear you. Make them say it out loud. There's a lot of sneaky ways to get people to shame themselves. And I don't mean shame like you're bad, but just say it again. Oh, yeah, I guess that was. Make them think, okay? It doesn't have to be rotten. You don't have to go, you're a racist. There's a lot of ways. And what we can do is educate ourselves so we can educate other white people. And it's not the responsibility of people in numerical minority groups and historically oppressed groups to educate us. Like, we get to abuse them, we get to marginalize them, and we have to force them to teach us? No, not the way it works. Let me see here. Yep, you gotta be a strong woman and stand up for what's right. And if the man who's racist doesn't respect you, then they don't respect you because they don't respect themselves. Nails and glitter, it keeps them slaves to their uteruses. Okay, that's a good way to look at it. Michael, when white women accept the fact that there are two minorities to white men, that they too are minorities to, right, then maybe they'll stand up. That's why there's been no woman president, not even a white woman. Exactly. We couldn't have there is a pecking order, and we could not have a woman president. Men would not have it. And you know what? Women wouldn't either, because we buy right into it. This is all the same kind of stuff, it's just different levels. We buy right into it. People were bashing, and I don't care what you think of Hillary. She was the most qualified, I mean, on paper, one of the most qualified people who has ever run. But she was a woman, and God forbid, men weren't going to have it. And the women that support them weren't either. I've never seen such misogyny from women myself than when she ran. It was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. And no matter what you think about her, the fact is she was qualified. Yeah, great point. When they don't get it. We're privileged. We don't want to get it. Speedy Xavier, Mr. SF Black, have you ever heard of the story of the Loving family? Oh, yeah. The wife claimed she was full Native American, but the census labeled her black. You mean the Loving family who married the white? No, maybe something else. You got to be thinking of something else. So there's a famous family, they did a movie on it, and it was the people who fought for interracial marriage, so they call it, and they went to prison. But I don't think that's what you're talking about. Maybe tell me more. Weaponizing white tears, absolutely. Mr. F. Sex, Speed Xavier, I haven't heard of it. Where can I find the story? Google the Loving Family, it's a documentary and a movie. Maybe that is what you're talking about. Interesting. But the wife was white, and the man was blue. So maybe that's, I don't know. I'll shut up. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry, but thank you for, I too can look it up. Let me see. The mom was also Native American. I did not know that. In New Orleans, there's Mardi Gras Indians, and that in New Orleans is a huge subject. Oh, interesting. Thank you. Okay, thanks, Speedy Xavier. I appreciate it. I'm here to learn just like everyone else. I appreciate everybody chiming in and all that. What I'm going to do right now is, first of all, tell you I cannot thank you enough for being here. And I want to show you a little video I put together on Black dads. I did research, and I got some really cool pictures. So I want to show you. It's very short. So let us see that. And then I will say good night and thank you so much to everybody for being here and supporting. I have to find it first. Got a lot up here. I found it. Oop, oop. And this is a video I made. You have to read it. Okay. Did I lose everybody? There's a chance. Let me see. So that was a video I made. I hope you liked it. It was really fast. Thank you so much for being here. I'm just here to speak the truth and to try to use my own privilege to get the voices of people who have something to say. It makes me sick that some people will listen to me, a person who's never lived this, over someone who lives it every day. That's disgusting to me. That's like, but I'm going to do whatever I can. If you like what I'm doing, trying to educate white folks, please support me. Come onto the panels, find people. I do interviews, watch my videos, send them to people. Like, instead of like, I have to tell this person over and over again, send them a video of mine. Don't you do the work. You don't have to use your emotional energy to teach people who could look it up themselves. Just take stuff off my, give it to them and get them to learn. And I can't thank you enough for being here. I know I'm really, really hoping that I can get back on Facebook, at least for my groups and my messaging, but it's kind of out of my hands. I appreciate every single person here tonight, support, and I hope I can keep doing this. I'm going to do the best I can, and I'll have to figure something out. So thank you very, very much. And if you are new to, my live shows and my YouTube channel, please subscribe, get your friends to subscribe, do whatever you can to support me. I so appreciate it. I want to say thank you to everybody, and don't be a stranger. I know right now I'm off of Facebook. They kicked me off today, and Messenger, so no one can really say much, but if you write me in one of the YouTube comments, I'll find it, and I'll get back to you. It's kind of a weird way to do it, but that's what I got right now. So thank you so much for being here, and thanks for helping spread the word. And the next time I'll be on live is hopefully my Tuesday panels. My personal page, yes, I got to get that too. Thank you, Nails and Glitter. I got to get that out. Have a great night. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. So, all right. Good night, everybody, and hopefully I'll get all this worked out and I get to talk to you. All right. Good night. Thank you. Made my night. Now, to be able to turn this off is a whole other story. Maybe this? Maybe...
You go to broadcast and stop.
Broadcast. Something happened.
Same thing that you used to start.
Yeah, I think I did it. Thanks, Hannah. Sorry to wake you. Sorry to wake you.
I coughed locally.
Uh-oh. I'm stuck. That was a really,
You have a dialogue open.
I do a dialogue open. Let me see.
Somewhere
Yeah, you're right. Oh, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I see. Stream recording is currently active. Are you sure you want to log out? Yeah. Uh-oh. So I'm still on, maybe? Oh, God. Loser.